then. Hey, folks, sorry for the delay, but we are back at the official Get Me Off the Moon live stream, and as always, I'm Skypane Zero, and joining me today is...
It's a me, Wahoo. That's my name now. Just Wahoo. First name Wah, last name
Alright.
Wahoo. Oh, oops. That's the
Our
wrong
Wah character is getting a lot of,
Yep.
he's attracting a lot of attention to himself lately, isn't he?
Alright. Speaking of attracting, look who finally got the right stick to work. Yeah.
Hey, Zero, nice to have you on board as always. Good to see our
Oh yeah,
regulars here.
should get that chat up on in here. Let's see.
That'd be helpful.
There. That. There we go.
Continuing our playthrough of Mega Man Legends 2 this week. How far are we into the game now, Josh?
We have to go around the last key. There we go.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we're going to the Kalinka ruins then.
Yeah. Although we do have
But
to
before
make
that, we have a little train fight.
No, and before that, we have something fun for the whole family.
And what's that, may I ask?
Oh, you'll see. You'll see. We gotta go to whatever the last place we were at. Not that one. Or was it this one? This the fireplace? This one is? Yeah, okay. I went the wrong way. Well,
Okay, I think I know where you're going now.
guess I could go this way.
Yeah, this town is unique in that it has kind of spirals around, has different entryway. Oh, are you going that way? Oh, no, I completely misinterpreted your intent there. Now I know where you're going.
Yep. Fun for the whole family.
Oh boy. We got our aqua skates.
Unfortunately.
Okay, well, here it gets real now, folks. Only like 10 minutes into the stream and it's already getting real.
Yep, that's how you celebrate a return.
Here with your faux coronas. I don't know, my faux coronas are going okay. How are yours? Hey, yeah, I just... like how you didn't even bother with them. Just picked them up, chucked them out of the way, and that's it.
Me and I'm on very hard mode. They're gonna take forever, and the fighting's so slow underwater. It's like, forget it. It's not even a point. There you go.
Yeah, with the water and everything, I would call this the hardest sub-gates. I mean, even by extension, the hardest ruins in the game. Crap being thrown at you, and as you see, you're always being tossed left and right, so... it's not fun. Fortunately, you can get out of most of these fights by just running past the enemies.
That's alright.
Me too.
Ah, no. Stop. Oh my god. Where's my, yeah. This. So I can actually maybe fight something. Why not? We'll just
Fight them, but like any method you employ is going to be slow.
It's barely even hitting them. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh man. Alright. That's enough. Okay.
lost over a third of your energy in just the second room.
Yeah. No big deal.
Snape, we believe in your power to perform miracles.
And I fixed the bot on the Discord. It only says the announcements once now.
Oh, nice. Hey, good on you.
Yeah, I had the channel listed twice, which is why I was saying it twice. Oh, okay. Well,
that's a warm greeting.
Yeah. Alright, that's enough of that.
Hey, what up, Silver? Nice to have you on board. Hope you enjoy your stay.
I knew something was going to
I love how that crab guy... I love how he's just camping out in the corner.
I knew something was going to be there. I could feel it.
It's hard enough to... Well, I mean, it's tricky enough to run past these guys, but imagine if you actually had to fight them to progress, like, in the same way as the Diggers Guild.
Yeah.
Streaming? You bet we're streaming Real Omega Zero.
No way.
Yeah. Our apologies for the delay, though. Josh had some things to take care of. Speaking of delays, I might as well get this out of the way, this announcement out of the way right now. So for those of you who don't know, we have been posting our Mega Man Legends 5 Island dubs for the past 6 weeks. And yesterday we posted the final episode in the Pollen Island series, which is the second arc of that of the Mega Man Legends 5 Island adventure game. Long story short, we are taking a bit of a season break following the release of that final episode in that series yesterday. So, and you know, we know that we've been keeping folks waiting long enough, but, I mean, Board have just informed me that, you know, they are... Yeah, and I mean, we got all the assets together. It's not a matter of losing anything. It's just a matter of getting all those assets into the project, you know? So, it's gonna... We were kind of all focusing on our efforts on the first arc of the series thus far. And so we're gonna require a bit more time to work on the second arc of the series, which is the Ilks Island.
No.
And, you know, I imagine it's gonna take a few more weeks, so, wow, that guy is...
I can't move. I can't...
Are you serious?
I can't move.
Wow.
I can't move.
That is the worst.
Oh, there.
Okay.
Oh my god, that was... Wow. That was bad. Wow. I don't think I've ever been stun locked so hard in my life.
That was insane. Okay, but yeah, we're taking a bit of a season break in our 5 Island dub now, so apologies for those who have been waiting as long as they have for the continuation of that series, but, you know, this stuff takes time to edit, so, yeah, I mean, what can I say? I'm sorry for that.
Is there any real trust in this level? Like, for real, like, they've all been bad.
Trust the holes in the wall, not the chests.
Yeah, I guess so. What if in Legends 3 they
I'll let more of these
the whole
fellas.
enemy? That would just be weird. If they
Yeah,
did
like
that,
you just
I'd
look
be
in a
like,
hole.
I'd be like, nah, you can.
I know, you poke into a hole in the wall, and then you just, this little rat creature pops his head out of it to scare you.
And then he's intentionally stun locks you like that guy just did to me. Oh, look at all this. Oh my. There. Yeah. Oh man. I love water.
Stumble on into the stream. If you want to join us, you're perfectly free to.
Man, that had less money than the hole.
I mean, what can you say? I guess you can fit more money in a hole than you can in a chest.
Guess so. What the heck are you doing? Nope. Go away.
Yeah, you know, David, you don't have to join if you don't want to. I'm just adding you to the group in case you do want to. I can't be bothered to wait for a response from you. Set something up, go ahead. No pressure.
Not these guys.
Okay, if you thought you were going slow before, I guess this is the developer's way of letting you know. You can go much slower.
Yeah. Well, at least I'm actually doing decent damage this time.
I know, yeah, you're getting this guy to about half health already. You can tell we'll be here for a bit. Do we have any news?
Lego Mega Man X Collection 1 and 2 coming out next Tuesday? Not this upcoming Tuesday, next Tuesday, I think. The 24th, I believe.
Nice.
I have 1 and 2 pre-ordered already on the Switch, and they're all downloaded and ready to go. I've been telling my personal stream the horror stories that is X7, and everybody wants me to play it, so... I really
of course
don't.
they do after you tell them that.
I know. I told them, I literally hate that game. Like, there's nothing worse than that game to me. Oh, I forgot.
Hate that game.
Status effects, you know.
If you hate that game, there's nothing worse you can do to make people want you to play it than express your hatred for it. I don't know, why you're telling people you hate that game if you don't want anyone to want you to play it.
Because I don't want people to play it when that thing comes out. What if somebody's just like, ooh, hey, let's just pick this one. And they pick X7, and they have no idea what the horror of that game is, and then they're just...
I don't know how our culture works, though, Josh. When people hear a horror story, that immediately compels them to want to try it out.
I didn't want to try it out until we had to play it. Got one down.
Maybe it won't be as bad on the collection.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be awful. They're not gonna fix anything. It's still gonna be bad. It's still gonna do the stupid thing to where it always defaults to no. That was the worst. Honestly, like, that part is probably the worst part about that game. Because every time you pick anything, she has to ask you, you want to do this? Always has no. And you try to hit yes, but there's input delay, and then you hit no again. And it's the worst. Literally the worst game ever.
It makes sense when you consider that, I mean, if the game really is that bad, then it's kind of sympathetic on the game's part to always default to no and prevent you from continuing.
I mean, I am just a little bit interested to see... I don't know if I should say this, but I want to see how well it will run on other consoles, because... I don't know, PS2 ports aren't that common, especially when they're, not on another PlayStation system, so... That's like the only part I would be interested in seeing. Like, I wonder if they would fix all the, like, frame drops during Ride Warinsky. But... probably not.
Yeah, I believe I've been hearing rumors that the loading times are fixed a bit.
We'll see about that.
I don't recall having much problem with the loading times myself, do you?
I used all the loading times as therapy sessions, so... Oh yeah, I can switch targets now, I forgot. Or wait.
Oh, nice.
No, I can't. It's not the right stick. Never mind. I don't know, I thought you could. I thought that was what the right stick was for. Oh my god. Dude, stop! What the?
Oh, yeah.
They're like...
That's one way of breaking yourself out of a flinch. Jump into the air so that he can knock you to the ground.
I thought I was trying to jump over it. No.
Make a sandwich in the span of an X7 loading screen? Well, that's very talented of you, Zero. Yo, David, is that you?
Nope.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Mega Man Legends 2?
Oh.
Good to know. What's your favorite part about Legends 2, David? Just for our knowledge and enlightenment.
Favorite part of it. Ooh, give me a minute to think about that. You know what? I think actually the first time you wind up on Forbidden Island, I just think that whole sequence of events is just really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it really sets the scene for the rest of the game, doesn't it?
That's kind of why I like it. I personally, whenever I run into like water dungeons, I absolutely always just ramps up my anxiety because underwater areas and games like this always have like really big things that you have to kill, and they always just spook me.
Yeah, right. An island section, I think it sets the stage of the game so well because of how, you know, foreboding it is. You have that creepy music. You have all these things coming out of nowhere, like the mammoths and those cloaked reaver bots that turn out into these zombies.
Oh my god, those things!
The wolf reaver bot. It has all these. Yeah, it just has all these jump scare moments that I think really set the stage for the dark, even kind of jumpy atmosphere of Legends 2.
Yeah, a little bit. Like the Salcata ruins in that same sort of mindset.
Yeah,
because it
same
has
thing going on
the
there.
yeah, exactly. Giant reaver bot there.
And then you have those little fly trap reaver bots who are always you know, spooking you out from the ground. Those guys.
Avoid most of those. Like the first time it happened to me, I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna jump over every like crease in the floor I see.
Hugging the wall works too.
But those are probably my favorite segments of the game.
Nice. Yeah, those are very memorable segments. What about the... I mean, it has a lot of improved visuals as well and gameplay from a lot of people's perspectives, too. Another thing that kind of stood out to you when you first picked this game up?
Like, just... It's a weird thing to say. I think it's... The way I can say it is that all of the edges just look a lot sharper or cleaner, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right. And this game obviously came out very late in the PS1's life cycle, but I think that time that Capcom spent on this game was very well used, and you could see the polish that came from such a late release, you know?
There. It's just... There is a lot of polish on it, and it really does show. Just with a lot of the models used, a lot of like the special weapon designs are a lot more intricate than they were in Legends 1.
Yeah, in Legends 1, the only weapon that was not blue was the Powered Buster. Yeah, so they are a lot more they have a lot, they're a lot more unique, I guess. You know, a lot of different designs going on.
But, oh.
I'm slick dodging, Josh.
Wasn't easy.
Hey, old school Matt, welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy your stay. I know that we are, because we're playing Mega Man Legends 2, a very esteemed title. The door, let us know, Josh.
trying.
Ooh. That's how you dodge a crab. Ruin is really tedious, but it does compensate you pretty well with the money it supplies you with. You get some pretty sweet stuff in here. I don't recall ever having the talent to explore this ruin until, like, I'm gonna say, after I started playing this game. Because, I mean, in order to unlock it, you have to beat the S-rank license test.
Oh, this
Man,
is
that's just something I couldn't do for the longest time. So that I did clear it without having to consult a walkthrough of any sort. So, that's neat. Practice makes perfect, of course. And granted, 10 years of practice may be going overboard a bit, but... I mean, the fact is you get it done. Old school Matt asking here, I'm trying, or more like musing here, I'm trying to figure out if there is any solid connection between Neo Arcadia and Elysium. Yeah. There are a few things, I think a few things that stand out. Is the orbital elevator in 01. There is also an orbital elevator in, and you guys will see this later on, in the Mega Man Legends 5 Island adventure game, which, you know, for the mobile phone. At the end, I talked about this earlier, but now I'm wondering if I should spoil it. But suffice it to say that there's a reference made to another kind of orbital elevator. I don't know whether that's the same one as the Neo Arcadia or orbital elevator, but I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I mean, a lot of these elements kind of overlap when you look at, you know, when you consider everything in the Mega Man lore. And to be fair, there's no... I don't really have anything... Like, I don't think anything lends itself to that theory that orbital elevator and the Neo Arcadia orbital elevator are the same. But the orbital elevator in the Five Island Adventure game does apparently connect to Elysium somehow. And that does kind of beg the question, doesn't it? I mean, I guess Elysium did shut down at the end of Legends 2, but if there is an orbital elevator connecting from Elysium to Terra, then, like, couldn't Mega Man use that to get back down to Earth?
Well, be multiple orbital elevators to for something like that to work. At least in most sci-fi, that's how it is they multiple orbital elevators. So maybe I would think that there are multiple just by that alone, because there was the Jacob in X8. Then there's the orbital elevator that Neo Arcadia has.
Actually, those two have been canonically shown to be the same one. The orbital elevator in X8 and Neo Arcadia are the same one. And that was retconned, by the way, because, of course, 01 came out long before X8. But, yeah, that was shown to be true. They're the same one.
Okay, then, I guess. That's really weird. So, hold on a minute. The Jacob orbital elevator was able to get Moon, I think, the actual Moon, right? Because that's where you fight Sigma.
Yeah.
Moon base, which is the weirdest thing to say. So, did by Zero, did they just sort of not make it go to the moon, the actual moon, and instead went to some sort of, I don't know how high up you go in Zero. You go pretty high up in that orbital elevator. Think that high up.
It's hard to say. But hey, I wouldn't rule out the possibility that that moon in X8 somehow turns into Elysium later on.
That would be really weird.
I know. There are so many possibilities.
That would be a strange way of making our name apt.
Old School Net saying here, the only thing that disturbs me is that Retro Mega Man is an established video game in this current era. Yeah, that's true, but I've never really taken that as meaning that the classic series wasn't a historical event, you know, earlier on. Like, I think it's perfectly possible that legends, you know, like actual folklore passed on throughout the ages from classic to the Legend series, inspired the video game series as the Legend series interprets it. You know, so like all this folklore eventually led to these legends becoming manifesting themselves in a video game form. You know, just like how we take inspiration for our video games from ancient folklore. That
it would be a little silly to think that well, what if the Battle Network series are the Mega Man games that Roll was playing? Series.
Yeah. Maybe so.
Weird to think about. But the way I see it is it's so far in the future it doesn't even matter. Brown little Easter eggs like that, because it ultimately doesn't really, in terms of where you are and of how far ahead it is, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. A good thing I submitted my letter for the Mega Man 11 encouragement letters. Yes, thank you very much for participating in that project, Lino Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome that you were able to get something in. And, you know, I was really happy to see that so many folks were interested in paying tribute to those developers. I was passionate about it myself. You know, I really wanted to make sure that these developers were warmly welcomed when they came to San Diego Comic-Con. Because, you know, the Mega Man fan base, I feel, can be a bit, let's say, intimidating at times. You know?
A little bit.
Yeah.
They can be pretty passionate, even to the point of, you know, where you don't quite know if you prefer that term.
Yeah.
But they can be pretty passionate, even to the point of being intimidating sometimes. So I really thought this project was important to give these developers the impression that, you know, we're not all that scary. we can be nice. We can be nice just as easily as we can, you know, work ourselves up.
We're just a bit miffed, that's all.
Yeah. So yeah, props to you folks, any of you folks who took time out of your busy schedules to contribute to that project. Both ourselves and I dare say the developers are greatly appreciative toward that effort. Oh boy, you're receiving a blessing upon yourself, are you, Josh?
Knowing me, I'm probably gonna need it.
Yeah.
Few words. Well, awesome, awesome for you, C. Felix. Thanks. Get much time to talk about it towards the end there, but you made it through that ruin just fine, didn't you, Josh?
Yeah, somehow.
Fine, just fine.
Just took 3 days, that's all.
3 days underground. Underwater, rather. Water. How worse can you get than that?
That's pretty bad.
The ruin is, though, in theory, that... Oh, man, here's this really... the creepiest NPC in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely not
For
an
her.
eyesore.
In the Mega Man Legends 2, what's it called? In Mega Man Legends 2 art book of some sort, there was some concept art of that character, which is quite neat because there are, I don't know, I feel like there aren't a whole lot of or concept art for the NPCs. I don't know, I could be wrong. Josh, can I get a better look at that train over there, the Flutter train? You know, I'm thinking that thing bears a closer resemblance to the trailer scene, like the Flutter-like trailer scene in the Mega Man 11, recent Mega Man 11 footage.
Oh yeah.
Looks like kind of like the support van.
Yeah, right. You know, I was funny story here. I posted that picture on the page recently. I did it pretty much convinced that, you know, this was a direct tribute to the Flutter, you know, or not the Flutter, the support van in Legends 1. But, like, I posted it, and I was actually kind of surprised to see how many folks were disagreeing with me on how it didn't resemble it very much.
Really?
Yeah.
But it totally
I don't know. I mean, I guess it does have its differences, but I don't know. I mean, that's
yeah.
for the record.
Mostly the same color. And isn't that supposed to connect Roll and Joe and whatever? I mean...
How so?
Well, because he made it, right?
Made the support card?
No, I mean Roll made the support card. After she touched it up, you know, it looked like the one over there. And then...
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah, and then she's saying, you know, you think Joe made it? I mean, like, look it. And they're the same color.
Kinda.
For some reason, I never quite thought about that, but that's a good point, huh?
Yeah, of course it is. I'm full of good points. That's why I'm so edgy all the time. Alright, where's Joe at? This one? Nope.
Joey is, at the hotel. I always have a hard time finding that hotel myself for some reason.
Gotta take the duck.
Fastest way to get around?
Yep.
Only way to travel.
A hard time believing that's a real duck. It's like totally inanimate.
It has to be inanimate.
Not a real duck.
Up the stairs, boy. Good job.
Did it.
That was a rubber, like a rubber toy.
Duck.
I guess this isn't it.
Okay, wait. Okay, so David, you agree with me then that it's a rubber toy duck?
Yeah, who says that it's a real duck?
Yeah, it has to be a rubber toy duck.
I think pretty much everyone says it's a real duck.
Everyone needs to get their eyes checked.
Okay.
Everyone.
Yeah, folks, do you think it's a real duck or a fake?
I guess I can look at this on the table. This house is a lot smaller than it should be. I mean, look at the size of this mansion. It's just one room.
You were surprisingly right there.
Right? Like, I thought that was the hotel because of how big it was. This one's probably like that. It has to be fake.
Yeah, everybody's saying that it's a fake duck. I don't know who you spoke to that said it was real.
I don't know either. Oh, you know, it might have been one of our other streamers. I think it was Joel who was of the opinion it was real.
Real, it only moves with momentum as you kick it. And it can reach in speeds of really fast.
It's a valid point. If it were real and harmless duck, we wouldn't be kicking it in the English version.
It's true.
In here with Joe.
It's taking a big nap.
Ooh, this is a good question that old school Matt's bringing to the tape. Oh wait, hold on. We're not finished here. that line of dialogue has always kind of piqued my interest. It almost sounds like Joe has a certain connection. I'm assuming that he's referring to, like when he says he's referring to Mega Man. But it almost sounds like he has a certain connection with Mega Man. And granted, I guess he does from having been saved by him in the ruins, but
Basically.
it's kind of strange to me. And then I have to wonder, like, okay, that line of dialogue pretty much indicates that Joe has regained his memory, or to a large degree. Or doesn't it? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He called roll by name.
That implies.
here, see, he doesn't say. Like, I'm wondering, is he just musing out loud to the person in the picture, or is he talking to the girl who just came in the room?
He's
Like,
just thinking
it's
aloud, I
perfectly
think.
possible.
Yeah, the girl left.
I think it's perfectly possible that he's only talking to Roll in the picture, and he doesn't quite know yet that Roll, like the girl who stepped into the room just now, was the actual daughter in the picture.
I think he does.
Okay, if that's the case,
Trying to
then
know.
when did he regain his memory? Regain his memory then.
Let me
Yeah.
save first.
Better save.
I would assume sometime after he got rescued from the ruins. Or maybe even before that point, but he just... Because Matilda wasn't there, he just sort of left it behind him. Didn't talk about it. He might have had his memories for quite some time, but since there was no link at all to, I guess, what would essentially be his past life, he just sort of... No.
Yeah,
Might
that's
not-
possible.
Which was probably not easy for him to do.
And there's so much potential for a story exploring Joe's past.
There is.
Okay, but we have a great cutscene here.
But oh no, you just got to fire it, don't you? You not only knocked off the gun, you disabled the main reactor as well. Anyway, it's fixed now, so let's get a move on, shall we? At this rate, it'll be nightfall before we get to the city.
Can't they take anything seriously?
Hey, Clay, your problem is you're too serious, you know? Besides, aren't you a little ashamed of yourself? I mean, a big fella like yourself getting trashed by that kid. You're getting old, man. I've had enough of this circus. I'm out of here.
Hey, wait! Bola, wait! These fools can't do anything right anyway. I guess it's high time I was getting out of here, too.
Hey, Diesel, you heard Bola. You can do the rest of it yourselves. See you around.
Hey, wait! Hey, Claymore!
Who cares? Let him go. That leaves more for us.
What?
Come on, Teasel, stop your whining and start acting like a man.
Why do I put up with that wimp? Who does he think he is, anyway, talking to me like that?
This is what happens when you don't have any money. We have to scrounge for parts to build our machines. We have to ally ourselves with people like that. We'll never win like this.
He's here! It's Mega Man! He's using a train, too!
Here he comes.
We can start moving anytime. Cookie!
Please do try to keep up, Teasel.
I'll make you eat those words, Clyde. All right, boys. I don't want to see any slacking. Let's move out.
Come on, Shaft. Full speed ahead.
Here we go. Oh man, this music is fantastic.
Mission start.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
You might want to disable. You might want to. Oh wait, no, not yet. I am inclined to remember that the serve bot on the rocket comes first.
The armor on the middle section looks weak.
I know.
Yeah, you have to destroy the car first.
Well, you didn't have enough range, it looked like.
I do now.
We interrupt this program to bring you Zelda Spirit Tracks.
How is this thing not dead yet?
That's a good question.
Hard mode.
There, finally.
Now look what happened.
Watch out for the gun on top of the train.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the tracking on homing missiles is really lame in the train sequence.
That's cool to know.
I'm sure you'll be able to find some application for it later.
Probably.
Come on. Come on.
Gotta start jumping now.
Ah,
Sleeping
I
lasers.
was trying to jump and I rolled.
Oof.
Oh, come on, shoot. Hit him. Oh my god.
Oh. Oh.
Ooh.
Can I like
Nah.
target that laser?
I'll blast you this.
Shoot the car
No more than
for the laser to go down?
Yeah. Okay. It's. Oh, I thought it was not. That's not.
Well, that's annoying.
39.
Josh, can you just press the R2 button or whatever button you use to lock on to lock off?
Yeah, I can switch targets with L2. Alright, go. Get out of here.
That works.
Okay, second phase.
I am sorry, Glide.
Oh, here's where the bonds get nasty.
Any choice.
What are you babbling about now? Wait, you're not.
We won't forget you. Glide, good luck.
Farewell. See.
I think Glide would have expected this from being hooked up to the back of the Bond's car.
Yeah.
Releasing Glide's car.
What do you think you're doing? I'll get you for this, Tizo.
Good, yeah, get out
He's
of here.
dead.
I hope he canonically died right there.
Remember the last time Joel streamed this game for us at one time, and he was like,
Takes care of Mr.
"Well,
Glide.
yep, he's dead. No, that's canonically proven. No, he's dead. He's
And
Yes.
he's
regroup.
dead."
Full steam ahead, Bond.
It's on the right track.
Okay, second phase.
Incoming missile. Why don't you
Here we
grab
go.
those missiles and throw them back at them?
I picked those guys up.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Saying a while back here. We're assuming he lost his memories to begin with, but oh man, scroll down. Got killed, so he was too afraid to go back. I stand by my earlier statement. Maybe Joe never lost his memories, but he was so distraught about Matilda dying, and perhaps thought it was his fault. He faked amnesia and never went back. Yeah, see, that's I think a really
That's a
intriguing
possibility.
theory. Right, and I wish we had some way of knowing for sure whether that was true or not, because, man, that would have such implications on his character. You know, like, it would say a lot about him, about his, like, motivations and, I don't know,
yeah.
just his character in general.
Ah,
Oh, I thought you were too close there.
this one should work.
Train to take down. Never confirmed if Glide does die here. Yeah, we're aware.
It makes sense if he didn't.
See him again after this point. Like, even when the bonds kind of We expect them to contribute to the rocket building, but
he's Loath's employee, so of course he wouldn't get involved there.
Yeah.
And you,
Again.
you never see Bola or Claymore again either, but they just, you know, vanished before the fight starts.
Alright, Josh, you're gonna have to do something different here. You cannot lock onto the cannon. If you try to lock onto the cannon, you're really not gonna do any damage to the actual train. Target the middle section. So you could literally spend like hours focusing on that cannon, and while you will be damaging it, you're not gonna be doing any damage to the actual train.
A sort of break the shots that it fires at you, so
No.
it's worth keeping tabs on it.
Seeing the rocket not contributing to it.
That fiend.
Oh, come on.
Hey, maybe, you never know. Maybe in Legends 3 he was planned to be the ultimate mastermind behind the biker gang, the Roast Beefs.
Roast Beefs is such a weird name for a gang. Names their gang the Roast Beefs.
They got a beef.
Yeah, they were the Roast Beefs, and their leader, his name was Bull Breath.
Come on.
Stop child labor.
Now we're fine, it's good. Don't even worry about it, fam. Oh, yeah,
They don't even have an engine in the front, they just have him pushing.
Yeah.
He's Flintstoning the train.
That wasn't too bad, actually. I thought I was going to do way worse.
Here we go again.
Yeah, that was great, actually.
Yeah, that went really well.
Listen to me.
Potato Chips would have been a more dignified name.
You haven't heard the last word.
True.
I'll get you if it's the last thing I...
Oh, Teasel's final line there, it's great.
Now Teasel's dead. Rip in peace. Never to be seen again.
Laugh at that though, because like he's giving this really passionate declaration of revenge against Mega Man, and then he's just cut off.
Blows up and dies. Yep, ripping pepperonis indeed.
Seeing nice to have you on board.
I wonder if you were able to get in front of her right there, she'd still do the thing where she hits you. Like in the first Legends game. Well, it's definitely safe.
Forgetty, never forgetty.
There are no eyes there, David. Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
I didn't touch my spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Obviously, the Metal Blue Boy would win.
One Metal Blue Boy.
I like to think the bonds aren't as high tech as they like people to think, and that most of their machinery is just like scrounged up old parts that they can barely afford.
Good with what they find, but what they build is entirely dependent on what they find.
Okay. Folks, and when I say real, I mean real cold.
This is the final dungeon.
One more key left. This place
And
is
once we
pretty
beat this, we beat the game.
Yep. I'm gonna have to get the bad ending on this run.
Guys,
How's it feel being on the last dungeon?
Pretty good. Surprised we got here so quick, I feel like.
Didn't beat the game on this dungeon, then you're doing it wrong.
Exactly.
You see, the way the game should end is you get all the keys, then you unlock the mother lode, and it's all one big happy ending.
Yep. You find out the mother lode is just like the one piece, and put it together, and bada boom, bada boom. Everyone
I think
goes
about boom.
It looks like there's a place with a fourth weaker around there. Try shooting it with your buster.
I guess it's a good
Buster.
thing I figured this out. Chicken.
Yep. What's your buster range?
I think it's manageable.
That far.
Ooh,
Chicken.
nice.
All right. Working.
A bone to pick with you.
What's my rage on it? It's like a 3 right now, I think.
Decent.
Oh, 4.
Sure. Guess we feel morally obligated to take this guy out.
Yeah. Well, just because they're in front of the door.
Be careful, Mega Man.
Be dealing with that later.
The floor's weak in that area.
Slipping around. Can I even get to this? I think. No.
I can really appreciate this ruin for the platforming sections alone. There aren't a whole lot of platforming sections in the Legend series, so
Yeah.
Nope.
you better watch it. You're gonna fall on one of those minutes.
Let's just go.
You know, you got all these neat platforms lined up above this huge room. You know, that just it appears like goes so high up. And it really just feels great to be going up on all these platforms. I mean, it's not going to feel great if you fall, granted. But it just feels really cool to be going up all these platforms and ascending this really long, tall room.
Yeah. Although when you fall, it's pretty bad.
Oh yeah,
Case in point.
then you gotta be careful with those cracked platforms. You were getting mammoths.
We put all these elephants.
Ants and river bots are also garbage. Always stealing my refractors.
It's a pain because those mammoths, if you kill them, they drop a lot of zenny.
Yep.
But you can't always collect that.
And then it all gets stolen.
Yeah, I know. You can't always collect that zenny in a timely manner, and in the meantime, they're scooping it up like in 2 seconds flat.
If there is, you could probably.
That's why you always... Oh, no. But that's why you always bring the vacuum arm with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in a ruin, you kind of need other weapons too, so it's a dilemma.
That's true.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of money.
Did you not get the ice chip? You're gonna be
You know, a surprising amount of folks are not able to get the ice chip before reaching this ruin because it's located in a really out-of-the-way place. If you in the Kalinka, or no, the Yosionke snow plain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in an area that is not accessible at the beginning of the game, but which becomes accessible after you do the train battle. But the thing is, the reason you would never even think about going there is because it's so far out of the way, you know? Like, why would you think about going to the snow plane after you beat the, after you get to the, beat the trains? So, yeah, it's just something that not a whole lot of folks think about.
Well, maybe it'd be worth getting everything anyways.
Certainly get it sometime, but I don't know if you want to stop everything and backtrack.
I haven't really gotten that far.
That's true.
It's up to you.
Consider it if you consider it at all.
Yeah,
because
well.
it would make a lot of the more intense platforming sections in this area just here. And I think on hard mode, the last thing you want to worry about is your footing.
Yeah.
Easier too, because there's a lot of slippery stuff happening in there as well.
Hmm.
See, we're barely even in there. Let's just go get it.
Okay, that's a good place to stop ourselves, actually.
Let's see. How do I?
Never got to Elysium without Geets, right? Why can't she return to Terra without him? To Elysium without Geets?
She...
As I recall, Geets kind of, a better term, I'm going to use the word possessed. He kind of possessed that strange, like, capsule. Like, he took over that capsule and gave them, and through that capsule they traveled to Elysium. Was there, yeah. Or wait, no,
so I think...
no, hold on, for some stupid reason I was thinking of Matilda. That's how they got to Elysium, and Sarah's servitor unit is Gas, not Geets, right? Geets is the servitor unit of Matilda. Okay, that's why I was getting it mixed up. If you're referring to Gas old school map, then I'm not really sure if we're told.
I think it might be because, as her body, like her original body, Yuna is working with Matilda's body at the moment.
Yeah, maybe.
Just nanomachines.
Do I need, like, the drill or something?
And just, you can access that area through just walking.
Walking, okay.
You don't need a drill for anything inside that ruin, no.
Maybe for the ice chip thingy.
That is Servbot. Action, or wait. No, actually, go back to town, Josh. I think it's back in town, and right beyond that area where you saw the support van train.
Oh yeah. It might be.
Yeah, it's that way.
Yep.
Sarah had a Servbot. She had a Serve Buttery unit. Okay, actually, it's not so out of the way as I thought. No, you could find that pretty easily, I guess.
Yeah, it's right there.
What's in here?
I don't think there's nothing else here. It just loops back to the area before. Although you could, I mean, if you want to fill in the map more, then you can give this place a whirl. Or wait,
might be something.
Actually, never mind. That loops all the way back to the other point.
It's over here.
No, this is all an area you've explored already.
It's the cave here. Isn't there a really long railroad bridge?
Yeah. There it is.
Okay. That was weird. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, we got it.
No.
Oh, come on! I want to see what she says.
Huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I've talked to her there before. I didn't know that thing was her pet.
It is. Yep, little fox thing.
I know. I also didn't know it had a name. That's that was very worth the trip.
The lore deepens.
I like how you said that around the point where the screen was kind of like shaken.
Yep.
It was like the lore deepens.
It was getting too deep.
Lord.
Making too many revelations.
We were literally shaking the screen with the deepness factor there.
There we go. Hold on.
Anything else?
Okay, catch you later, Zero. Thanks for dropping by and sticking around with us.
Later, Zero.
I didn't serenade it to get to Elysium, but Yuna did. I would think... Okay, maybe... I think maybe it is rooted in what David was saying. In what David was saying earlier about the bodies. You know, Sarah had her original body, but Yuna didn't. So that's why Yuna, I'm guessing, needed a servitor unit to guide her to Elysium.
Right.
Or it didn't. Although, I mean, I still see, like, Sarah and Gats traveled to Elysium together, so do we really even know for a fact that Sarah did need Gats' help?
Gats got destroyed. He went back.
Wait. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right.
It's the nanomachines that Sarah has in her system that allows her to interface with the technology and all that jazz.
Right, so wait.
As easy as, like, genetic identification or something like that.
So Geets wasn't destroyed then? No, wait, he couldn't. I remember him talking through that capsule into Elysium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Geets is names are so similar. I keep getting the two confused.
Geets is
the friendly one.
Geets, the bad one is Gats.
Right, so Gats, yeah, you destroy Gats in the on the sulfur bottom.
Yeah, right. But Geets was defeated by Gats before that.
Oh, Geets is killed trying to hack Sarah.
Okay, so that's where I was getting a bit confused.
On the moon because well, not on the moon, on Elysium. That's why you're trapped on Elysium, because Geets is killed after you, like, it is killed during the final battle.
Yeah.
Trying to hack Sarah.
And I guess that would also explain why when Geets was alive, you could use the capsule to go both to and from Elysium. You know,
Yeah.
like when you're on Elysium, you're not stuck there. You can go back to Terra anytime you want. It's not until you get to the final fight and beat Sarah that you realize, oh snap, I'm stuck. You know?
That's the whole thing. And I'm pretty sure Sarah is just able to go to and from because she had those nanomachines. Mega Man would still have a way back, although she might just be too weak after the fight to actually, like...
Oh, that begs the question, can she regain her strength in order to, like, over a period of time and through resting, can she regain her strength to the point where she will be able to transport them back to Terra?
It's implied that that their bodies can recover after a point because Yuna uses Matilda's body until her original body can recover because too many of her nanomachines were used to heal Yuna of her wounds.
Mm.
So that's implied.
Well, if they can recover, like, what's stopping them from, you know, getting a good night's rest and then seeing if they can transport back to Terra in the morning?
Yeah. Sarah just doesn't know how to drive a spacecraft while Geets does? I don't know.
Jerk, and she doesn't want to help.
Yeah.
I don't know if Yuna can override her old shell, like you're thinking, Matt. Honestly, it's just not really explained. Maybe she went up to Elysium before with Gats? But who knows? Well, I guess we can find out if they say that during the final sequence of events in this game. But it's something to look out for.
It's all just really confusing.
Yeah, that's a thing in this game.
We're not even going to talk about Data.
Data's a problem.
Biggest controversy of all time.
Data is a living contradiction in nature.
I mean, this whole sub-series doesn't give a lot of information to begin with, so
yeah.
You make do with what you got.
Fun, you know? It's like we have all this ground to form our own theories and such, and while that can get kind of frustrating at times, it's, you know, it makes for some great discussion about the series itself and what could possibly happen within that series.
Personally.
Yeah, I am too. Reminds me of a... Well, I don't want to get too far off track. We are in the Kalinka ruins right now, and we have stuff to do.
Yeah, we sure do. Am I going here already? I don't remember. Yep, sure do.
Hey, Warjay, nice to have you on board.
Hey.
2, very esteemed title. By the way, this game and its counterparts in this wonderful gem of the series are on sale on PSN right now for a very, very low price. I want to say, like, oh man,
I think
it's like 70% off. 70% off with PS Plus.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Yeah, and that sale will be going on for 3 more days. So if you folks haven't picked up the Legends, this is applying to all 3 Legends titles that have been on the PS1, Legends 1, MOTV, and Legends 2. Yeah, so they're on sale right now, and they will be on sale until the 17th, which, ironically enough, is the day before the 7th anniversary of Legends 3's cancellation.
Yeah. Funny how that works out.
Very much so, yeah. But yeah, if you folks haven't picked it up, this is a great opportunity to do so and support a excellent series. And I know it's not on PS4. It's on pretty outdated consoles now, but
it annoys
I mean, hey, you know,
it annoys me so much. I only have, well, I got my PSP, which I could get them on there, but my PSP, because of how old it is, it doesn't connect to the new internet security, so I can't really go online with it. And
oh gosh,
it's
Same boat.
I think I do have Legends 1 and 2 on it, but I had to get them on my PS3 and then do a data transfer from the PS3 to the PSP.
See, I just went the easy route and got the Japanese bundle.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, I have a PSP Go because I'm one of the only 2 people on Earth who has one.
Right.
But other than that, you know. Alright, I'm missing like a door or something.
Sure.
Now it's coming to the point almost where Capcom is like, it would behoove them almost to re-release the games on the PS5 at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, just make the Mega Man Legends Legacy collection.
Or they could just do that, yeah.
But they're gonna split it up into 2 parts somehow.
They're going to split. You see, Misadventures is going to be on Collection 1 and half on Collection 2.
Play the second half of Mega Man.
It will be a 2-disc title. The second half will be roughly 1/3 of the game, and the rest of that will be the demo disc for Legends 2.
If they're going to do that, they better at least make the cutoff point between the first, like, when you first learn that you have to, you know, pay interest on your interest.
Yep.
Right.
know? That would
That's
tie
where
in
the
so
cutoff
much
point is.
if they did that, because it would be like we're paying interest on this other part of the game, you know, by ourselves, you know, and therefore doing pretty much the same thing that Tron has to do in order to get her brothers back.
Oh, it's that blue square to the south of the map.
That one right there? Like in the...
You have to jump up a hole, I think.
Okay.
Or down.
So I'm getting so confused. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Since I played this, but yeah, if I remember correctly, you have to check you have to check the ceiling for a hole to break through.
Yeah.
Oh,
should be
yeah,
right
I
here.
see it. Okay. Man, I totally would have never ever seen it. Oh, and there it goes. Fast growing ice. There we go.
Vanishing block sequences.
Okay,
Is-
Watch your step, Mega Man. It looks like the floor's...
Asking another set of ideas, is Matilda's spirit still in there? Did Yuna delete her? And what happens to Sarah when Yuna needs her old shell, when or if she leaves it? Okay, you know, that's been a question that's been floating around in my mind for the past decade as well.
Maybe you can deactivate the barrier
legitimately
with the
don't
control
know
panel.
what would happen to Yuna.
Oh, Matilda, it's sort of implied that reality is still there. Basically,
Thing.
it's kind of making her. It's implied that it's just sort of walking to her or something like that. Like she's just using her body for now, and she'll get it back when Yuna's body is ready to actually go out and about.
Right. Oh, another good question here. What happens?
Because
Oh, sorry. Did you want to finish your point?
I was just saying, it's like, it just seems like Matilda's going to be fine later if Yuna's telling the truth, which you don't have any reason to believe that she isn't, I guess. That's about it. In terms of what happens with Joe when Matilda gets her body back, we really don't know.
Yeah, you know, I really want to see that story explored someday. Yeah, I don't even care if it's a fan fiction, but so much we could have, so much more ground we could have explored with Joe in Legends 2, and it all kind of, I feel like it all kind of ends without any sort of period, without any sort of finality. And granted, you know, we do learn that, I guess he decides to start a new life with his new family. Man, I feel like that's just so morbid. You know, I want him to rejoin Roll and, you know, and Matilda, and have them become one big happy family again. I'm sure that would be pretty sad for his new family, but I mean, gosh, I don't want
Yeah, the other one first.
to hear like that.
Just don't know at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Will we be getting the Mega Man X Legacy Collection? I can't speak right now. I know for sure I am, and I already have them all pre-ordered and pre-downloaded and all ready to go on the Switch, so...
Yeah, there's a part of me that feels like I'm going to be hanged by the Mega Man community if I don't buy it, because like, I mean, we recently received word that it was the Legacy Collection, the classic Legacy Collections that brought on Mega Man 11. So I feel like if I don't buy this new collection, this X collection, I'm going to be publicly responsible for not... If Mega Man X9 doesn't come out, I'm going to be to blame for that, and the community is going to let me know that I am to blame for that, so...
Well, I mean, for me, it's a good deal, because I've only played 1.5 X games, so, you know.
Matter of, like, having a outlet to play those games on, I would be just happy with my PS2 X collection, which is a great collection with some great extras that I would argue are not to be found, some of which anyway, probably aren't to be found in the new X collection. Two that's... Now then you gotta consider... Oh, snap.
Looks like
That's
there's a way to get
unfortunate.
up to the next level there.
Like, then you gotta consider that there are probably a lot of other extras in this new collection that aren't to be found in the old.
Yeah, it's got that boss thingy.
Yeah, it does, and that, man, that looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
I might just...
No, not again!
Okay, there we go. Got out that time.
Yeah, so I might just buy it anyway, even though I am perfectly happy with my PS2 collection. Oh, these guys, how lovely.
Oh man.
Brain boys.
Please.
Oh, I wouldn't say that old school, Max. There are a lot of community that I think are, you know, are great.
I don't know if we're allowed. I think we're the most remembered.
So, I mean, I don't... To be honest, but I'm glad you think so, and I'm very grateful to that you hold that opinion.
Yeah.
Matt.
Doing the one thing that Mega Man Legends did only once, and that's dealing with ceilings.
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez.
Oops. A little more time to get out of the way.
Oh man, those guys hit like trucks.
It's, chicken, go home.
Look at him. He doesn't want anything to do with you.
This is your home now. Oh wow, even a little went up the line. Wow.
Ow.
Disappear so quickly if you don't shoot him down. Okay, go into the next floor.
Wait.
Josh, how much time you're gonna spend on that really big room where you're supposed to collect those keys?
That'll be great.
I went the wrong way.
You have to find the way to go back to the platform you fell down from.
Roll kind of has a stepsister. I guess she does, in a way.
Yeah, kinda.
I poofed it.
Aw, man.
Money. Oh, nope. That was not a good idea. Dang.
That's a fake. Have I even gone this way? No.
Look at the ceiling. You should be able to shoot
went the
through
right
it and
way.
make an opening.
Just, I'm really glad I fixed the right stick. I wouldn't be able to even do this place.
Oh, man.
There should be a door in that room that leads to the next area. You can't see it.
Well, this is a wonderful room.
Sure
You can
is.
probably see it from the top of one of the
Down.
doors.
Prove your metal.
You can probably get to the door by jumping across the
Look at
top.
him. Look at that guy.
He's
Gee,
freaking
he
out.
wants me. Oh my god.
Oh man.
What an absolute
I
madman.
don't want to be you right now.
I've never seen an enemy want me even more.
Sound effect just
He's like trying to break the speed barrier to get up here.
Just glitch himself up.
He's building up speed
get himself
for 12
into a
hours.
parallel universe and then
Yeah.
just jump up and get you.
Can I hit him with this? Alright, so...
Yeah, you gotta face him. You gotta face him at some point.
Hold on. Gonna do a little bit of this.
Looks like there's a barrier.
Get a head
there.
start.
Oh my-
Wow, they were even
Wow.
matching your speed then.
Find the right control.
Wow!
He is so fast. That's ridiculous. You should not
Boy.
allow to be that fast. He really was building up speed. Don't let him get too powerful. Hey, there you go.
Boy, he was.
He re-entered that room. He should be easier to deal with.
I have
3 pick up immediately after the second game, or should we get another few year time skip like before? Yeah, you know, this is a very thought-provoking question. When Legends 3 was announced, I was of the opinion that they handled it in a very in the wrong way. You know, I thought they should have done a time skip instead of like introducing this prologue that showed how Mega Man got down from Elysium. I thought they should have just did a time skip, and, you know, where Mega Man's already back down on Terra, you know, just proceeded from there, you know, with,
It would probably be an easier
way. And, you know, a lot of that, I think my belief there, kind of, the fact that I never quite saw Legends 2's a cliffhanger as a cliffhanger. I saw it as a joke, you know, something that, you know, just like, okay, they're gonna get back down, and this is just the developer's tongue-in-cheek way of saying, see ya down the line, you know, we don't know when, but
see you next game.
Someday we'll see ya again. So, you know, that's what I thought, and that's why I thought that they should have done a time skip,
second.
when they made Legends 3. And, you know, that also would have had the additional benefit of not leaving fans hanging, you know? Like, Legends 2, I thought, the ending of that game was very, really set anything in stone. But the second that they announced that they were doing this prologue and that it would resolve the cliffhanger, they confirmed that Legends 2 did in fact have a cliffhanger. And at that point, I think, that's when all these, like, problems were introduced, you know? Like, that was when the cliffhanger was confirmed, and that was when, we became aware that there was still stuff to be resolved, technically. I mean, yes and no. There was, at the end of Legends 2, there was that whole Elder System thing, and we never quite got closure on that. So, and maybe there was some validity in the concept of a prologue. I just think there was a big danger of officially confirming that cliffhanger as canon, you know? I'm not sure if I'm conveying my thoughts properly, but that is what I think for the record. No, I mean where Mega Man just returned to Terra, but it took a few years to get home. Oh, yeah, see, I want to believe that it took less than only a few years, like, less than a few years to get Mega Man back down. In the official canon, I'd like to think it only took, I don't know, a few weeks, maybe a month or two. There's just something really morbid about the fact that the possibility that Mega Man is stuck on this abandoned satellite for as long as a few years. Or a few days, you know, something like that. I think he's been stuck for 10 years there.
Oh, yeah, I remember this part.
They gotta lure them into the pits. Let's time skip. I think that would be appropriate for the situation. For getting these guys down, you gotta stand in front of the pit and then roll out of the way as they come charging at you.
Oh, oops.
That's not my idea of rolling.
Hit the wrong button.
Oh boy. Data said, forget Roll and Tron bickering, and walked to the moon and got Mega Man back. I think that's a very plausible theory. Very much within the realm of possibility.
Could happen.
And those guys are just trucking you.
Okay, let's start over here. Start fresh. on, one of them. Get your buns over here. One of them's two of them. Ah.
Wow, that,
There we go.
Looks like
There
one
we
of the
go.
doors open,
Perfect.
Mega Man.
Alright, let's get them all. Stupid. Get over here.
Another door just opened.
yeah, be sure you explore the other doors that are unlocked as well.
Yeah.
Very easy to miss those places. Nice.
The last door's open now, Mega Man.
Alright.
And here, my question for Legends 3 was, getting Mega Man off the moon aside, did Inafune have an idea of where the story was going to go? Like, what happens after Mega Man gets off the moon? You know, that's a very good question, and I wish we had some answers there, but unfortunately, the majority of the information that we were exposed to during the dev room days was almost exclusively limited to the prototype. You know, not just like, it was purely, or mostly anyway, it seemed purely focused on phase where, you know, the caskets and the bonds are trying to get Mega Man off Elysium. There wasn't much story content explored regarding what happens afterward. So, and you know, I think, you know, we can theorize all we want about the Elder System and all that stuff, but we really don't know where the story was going to go after the prototype, which is pretty frustrating. But I think, well, we do have a couple things to go off on, and like, according to Chris Hoffman, apparently this stuff wasn't explored in the prototype, but there was the Clique Laphonica, you know, the apparent fire of all creation treasure on Clickland Island, the setting of the you know, Legends 3. It was a treasure that restored youth to a person. So, and that apparently, it wasn't explored in too much detail in the prototype, so I'm guessing that was going to be explored in the full game. There's also the subject of just who is Barrett. The dev room heavily implied that there was a lot of mystery surrounding his character, and that there was some connection between him. And that also, you know, brings up the question of what happened to Barrel, because, I mean, like, apparently he had gone missing during the prototype. Or, again, according to Chris Hoffman, he was never found at the end of the prototype. So, I'd venture to guess that his mystery is also explored in the full game. But those are just a couple things that we have to go off on.
I remember this
Wow,
room
this
being
is
really annoying.
amazing. Who'd have thought there was a place like this?
Oh, good to see you again. Hey, how have you been doing?
There's a large reaper bot in the middle of the room.
It's been a while since we've seen you around here, but awesome to have you back. Hope you've been doing okay in the interim time. As long as the other system wasn't just, oh look, it's Zero and the virus again.
Yeah.
Barrett. I think Barrett was the closest thing to Zero we were going to get in Legends 3.
Oh, this is going to be really... This is going to be really just kind of not that important to say, but I really like how the keys have that light trail effect coming from their eye.
Yeah. Makes sense from
Really cool.
Yeah, and you know, it makes sense from a practical perspective. Like, this place is so big, those guys in the dark. But,
yeah.
Even just as far as aesthetical purposes are concerned, it just looks really awesome. It's like they didn't have to make it look as cool as they did, but, you know, they decided to go all out with it, and that's awesome.
I think for this room, I actually like having the skates on and just skating around sometimes, because it's just such a wide open area.
Yeah.
Can't really do that with the missiles.
Could if you really tried.
Could if you tried.
Gotta ask you, are you going to take the effort to defeat that giant chicken? But you're being massacred by him right now, so.
That's it.
Oh man, he's.
Give me that.
Oh,
I can't.
nope, you can't pick him up.
Man,
You
can
better
pick up,
use
like,
that.
everything
Use canteen.
else. I don't have any more.
Oh.
My
Never
God.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, no.
It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. We saved right before this. It's all right. We'll kill
Point
him.
before that. Good.
Oh. Bazooka.
In, say, 3 years, Mega Man could relearn all his memories about Elysium, and maybe in getting money for the rocket, roll sells your weapons, so you have a legitimate reason to start over with them. Oh boy. I just don't like the concept of losing all your weapons. If it's for a greater cause, then
This
it's
is
worth it.
amazing. Who'd have thought there was a
Alright, so
place like
priority 1 is those chickens.
Watch out, Mega Man. There's a large reaper bot in the middle of the room.
The one chicken anyway.
Trying.
Those Hirokos are so weird. They spring up from the ground in huge numbers, and then once they come up, they don't care about you. They just go on their own way.
I mean, they just want to be roaming hazards.
It's always struck me as so weird though that like they'll come up in all these great numbers, you know, like almost purely to intimidate you, and then they just stop there. You know, they don't do anything.
Yeah, it's like the enemies that are in Manda Plains, I think it is.
Oh yeah, oh, that's true too. Yeah, they're like that as well.
Their AI is just set to wander around or do whatever attack they normally do.
Seriously.
And they don't really care about you too much, just the fact that you made them pop up.
We'll start at a Kickstarter.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, hey,
Got him.
out. Good show.
Well, if I can get out of here.
The sacrifice is worth it though.
No? Okay.
Oh, it's totally worth it.
Can't go back up.
Just take out... Maybe the Hirokos can give you health.
Maybe.
As you're chasing around the dudes. Or maybe they just give you money because they want to be lame.
It's probably wow. Circling around me. No, come on.
Oh no.
Shining Laser doesn't work anymore since Teasel became immune to it. When did Teasel, or any entity for that matter, become immune to the Shining Laser?
Ever.
I became immune to it.
Is a beast. Skating after them, I don't think you can grab them though.
He has the ice shoes on, I think.
Oh, he doesn't.
I got the skates on.
Mega Man was on the moon. Wow, that would be some hardcore practice to become immune to the Shining Laser.
Go away.
Waste of effort, actually. If Teasel's gonna make himself immune to the Shining Laser, wouldn't he like be able to do the same with the rocket? You know, like make the rocket. If he can make the rocket immune, what I'm trying to say is, if he can make himself immune to the Shining Laser, he can also make the rocket immune to the Shining Laser, and that would give the rocket the ability, I would think, to be indestructible. You know, so that it could travel to the moon.
Indestructible. Room keys. Now you're gonna fill out the rest of the room, right?
Yeah, once I go back and save.
And now would be the time to go back to save, because the boss here is not someone I'd want to mess with.
Yeah, he's a bit of a challenge. That though, I can genuinely appreciate the concept of the boss fight going on here. You don't have a lot going, like you don't see a lot in Mega Man Legends boss fights.
Yeah.
For Legend's answer to the Yellow Devil.
Yeah. Same position they were in when you...
No. We're going back up.
Deal with this.
Yep, still burning. If I talk to him, does he get rid of it? Nope.
Oh.
There you go.
Off. Still right there. Still back. Or he's still back. Oh, there are two of them.
There's not. It's just one.
Or two of them.
Missiles coming from every direction ever.
Oh my god.
Those things are troopers.
I don't know. How come my homing missile can't be that good?
Yeah, for real.
It's a shame you can't just, like, tear those Reaver bots apart and use their parts to make an even better homing missile.
Should do that in 3.
Yeah, totally. Just like be
Anything
a
in 3.
full-time scavenger.
Grab that one guy's shield, or grab that one Reaver bot shield. Everything, but if you deflect too many bullets, it pops off of your arm or whatever, and you can't use it anymore, and you have to grab another one. Knuckled this stuff.
Oh my god.
Oh.
You gotta.
Oh no!
You got no. Come on.
Awful.
And.
Gosh. I didn't think he'd survive that.
No.
Always
Okay,
get
that was
one
good.
hit left.
Whatever.
See through the room.
Shame you can't see those little things as represented by markers on the map.
It'd be too easy.
I would.
A mirror of some sort.
What's up?
Oh, blue metal. Always seems to show up when you're losing, Josh.
I know. It's because he's here to scold me, that's why.
Explore ruins. Then I took a missile to the everywhere.
And chicken missiles.
Yeah, not only were they missiles, they were from a chicken. That have 100% accuracy, never miss. And even if they miss, they're coming back for you. Yep, see?
200% accuracy, actually.
Exactly.
200% accuracy. We'll hit you twice.
Alright, that's it. We're out of here.
There's a large Reaver bot in the room.
Can try to be out of here.
Reading from it. I don't think it's going to attack you.
This guy.
Fill it out.
Let's fill out the area first, because you have to go to the next room before he reacts to you.
The last piece.
Greatest Reaver bot.
Curious, but I also think it's one of the coolest. You know, again, there's just a whole lot of stuff going on in this fight that you don't see elsewhere in other Legends boss fights. You know?
Legends boss really has, like, some crazy gimmick to it.
Oh, yeah.
Reaver bot on the other side.
Oops.
And they do a really good job of making each boss kind of unique instead of, yeah, this is just an HP sponge, get through it.
Right, right. Yeah, but this guy in particular, I think, is cool because he integrates, or his boss fight anyway, it integrates platforming. That's, you know, you don't see a whole lot of platforming in Mega Man Legends boss fights, so this is really cool, I think.
It's true.
And it's like you gotta have to kind of, you know, you're not even just jumping on top of the platforms in order to dodge his attacks, but you're like like he's attacking you while you're on those platforms, so you always kind of have to be on the move and keep yourself from falling down while you know, like while he's throwing goo at you and stuff up there.
You probably want the cleated shoes on while you're doing this too.
Yeah, because those are slippery otherwise. Yeah, the skates aren't going to help you much here. The ice shoes are what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you thought circle strafing was hard enough normally, it's kind of surprising to find out just hard it is when you're up on all these platforms and, you know, kind of have to keep yourself from falling down.
Yeah, no, it's a whole nother beast.
See, Neil, to be honest, I think I'm kind of exaggerating this a bit, because I was never very good at dodging these goo balls on platforms. Yeah, see, I always end up falling down like Josh just did over there.
Yeah.
Because, you know, his balls just come at you so quickly. That's, you know, even if you were strafing around that platform, it's difficult to dodge his attacks and stay up there.
Actually, you know what? I think the red shoes are what you want. Well, no, because you do slip and slide, but if you fall down... I think they're called, like, the asbestos shoes, which is, like, the worst name you can give to them. But, I think they help deal with the ice... Well, no, they probably... Do they?
I want to say they do. Oh, wait. I think if you're standing on an ice floor, they're not going to protect you, but if you get off that ice floor, you're going to be preventing the effect from getting worse. Or, like, remaining.
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure.
He is very fast.
Come on.
Here we go again.
Make a Zero saying here, you don't have to dodge, just stay on the lower platform, and there's a spot where the blobs won't hit you.
Okay. Let's see.
My key, will ya? How about a swim in rainbow pudding?
Probably far back on the platform. Or around there.
Or yeah, the upper platform would be protecting you from the blobs. Hey, look at that!
It worked.
Aha!
Next time. Man. That's almost too easy.
One thing that sucks
the only
is
problem is you
getting
can't shoot him from here.
Oh, yeah.
When you're on there, so...
Wear him down over time.
A good call.
The homing missile. And, get out of the way. Because he's coming for you.
Sure
Oh,
is.
man.
Is he still chasing you? Oh.
Gotta wait longer. Really knows how to draw this fight out. Oh!
Oh no!
I got it.
A thread, Josh. A thread.
Get out of here.
Oh. Got him. Don't stop blasting him until he dies.
Yeah, not today, Slimer. Get out of here. You and your rainbow pudding.
Back out of the ruins.
Yeah, the worst part is I'm gonna die to the chicken immediately right now. I know it's gonna. Oh, hey. Never mind. Chicken averted.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, but we do have to go back in there really quick. It's like,
What?
don't think I grabbed everything. Let's just double check.
Yeah, you
Now that
do
you
a
don't
bit
have to deal with the
backtracking.
chicken.
Yeah. Okay, so everything here, all the treasure, that one's good. Oops, wrong button. Yeah, there's
The one.
treasure. Okay, there's
Okay,
that
yeah,
treasure
Oh, no.
there.
There.
That one. And
Catchphrase of 2018. Chicken averted.
Inverted.
yep. Okay, so we need 2 treasure chests. No big deal. We saved. We got our energy back, so we're good. So if something stupid happens, that won't be fine.
And I'd like to think you got most of the threats out of the way anyway.
Yeah.
The next big ruins design is just going to be one really big open area and about 50 of those chickens.
Yeah, whoa. Whoa.
Other memories did Mega Man forget? We know he was a top-level purifier unit, so what else can Yuna and Sarah help him remember while on Elysium?
That would be Data helping him remember stuff.
His peripheral memory storage device.
It's true.
Drive.
It's the big truth.
So, Yuna and Sarah probably can't help him with any of his memories. That's all Data. And also, we don't know what Mega Man forgot, because it's never really expanded upon.
Nice.
It's because we forgot it as well.
We forgot it as well. Because you're playing as Mega Man, so you don't remember.
Exactly. You have to get some selective amnesia. So up and up.
Mega Man's become the new Kingdom Hearts character who no one can remember the name of.
You need to get out of here. Right now. Chicken's gonna go away. Ah!
Turns out Mega Man stockpiled tons of cheesy movies, so they're up there watching stuff and joking about it. Mega Science Theater 3000.
That's a good
Give me a minute, I'm gonna be right back again.
Gotcha. I guess David's going to watch his own cheesy movies.
Exactly. There we go. I feel like going through the floor is probably faster.
I wonder if he was a bad cook during his purifier days. I wonder if he even had to eat in his purifier days.
The world may never know. Did I go the wrong way or the right way? I went the right way. So, it's a door right up there. Ow. I never got this red thing done. That's for another
But yeah,
treasure.
gotta take care of that.
Okay, whoa. Hey! What it? Ah.
If Mega Man had friends or family, or maybe even a lover that he was forced to abandon to help the Master. Really deep into it here. I don't know, I mean, anything is possible, like...
That's the fun.
Hey, like... We need Legends 3 to answer these questions.
Oh.
Yeah, we need Legends 3 to answer those questions. Also, I'm back.
Yeah, you can tell.
I don't like these guys. Yeah. Big brain boys. I like everything.
Oh, kerplop. That is 10 out of 10 right there. in my head, but I can't sing, so I will spare all of you.
Thanks. Oh, almost there. Run out through these guys. Can't run to this guy. Pretty sure we can anyway.
Oh man, I want to see that. Oh, I hate this ruin, but man, it just has a lot of enemies you don't want to be around, like, ever.
Yeah. And it forces you to deal with them most of the time.
That's a good point too. Yeah, it's funny when you look at the most of the ruins in Legends, and you see just how many of the enemies are optional to fight. There aren't really a whole lot that you're obligated to fight. Like this one, kind of reinvents that formula and has you fighting all these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And it's all obligatory.
Now that's why I couldn't get in the red place. Okay.
Oh.
Now
It's everything.
that explains it.
Yeah, that would be neat. Since this name's saying here, it could be a way to use the old designs of the heroine designs. Yeah, good point. Good point. Like if Mega Man really did have a lover on Elysium, you know, you technically use all those old heroine designs to, you know, just to give him a home. I was honestly still hoping though that even if, you know, those other heroine designs didn't have a major role in the game, that they'd at least be in the prototype or, you know,
featured somehow
as NPCs.
Yeah, I like the prototype fan game.
Yeah.
They snuck them in there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, props to those folks.
No, go away. Go away.
Oh.
Go away. No.
Not gonna go anywhere.
Wow. Hit you out of nowhere.
Oh.
There's the right door. Nope. Ah!
Wow! Look at him just swooping in.
No, he like planned that perfectly. He's like, he's gonna miss
Those
right.
guys are jerks.
Here. No, big boy jerks over here. Let's go ahead and turn in that red key.
Opens the bread, a hole in the floor.
That's definitely something to think about, Kerplop saying here, but in all seriousness, the way they talk about Mega Man as a purifier unit, going after aberrant systems, I can't help but wonder if he truly was the last Maverick Hunter. Yeah, and indeed, in the Japanese version of the game, isn't he specifically called an irregular hunter?
Yeah, I believe so.
Validity to that assertion that he was.
I think he's called the greatest irregular hunter. Specifically.
Wow, that's something else.
Which means that he's somehow he is an irregular hunter in that system. And it was just basically I think Ocean Studios did the dub for this game.
I don't know.
So they just sort of translated how they do, and some of the consistency between series was just sort of lost. I can't understand Japanese. That's just hearsay from other people I've spoken to.
No.
What if next D3 Capcom opens their event with the Mega Man Legends less parody? Then the CEO comes out with a computer rapidly going up how many people signed the petition. Then he simply says he's getting off the moon and then walks away before playing a demo. That's
first
a whole
of all,
lot to process.
Be really suspicious because Capcom does absolutely nothing at E3. because their usual show is at TGS, but I would also just be kind of flabbergasted and also demand to know what platform it's coming out on.
They did some stuff this E3. Actually, I thought they had a really good E3. I mean, like, they didn't have, like, a showing, but they had a lot of good games.
Yeah, that's... They do a specific show at E3, and usually they announce stuff at TGS, but they showed up at this E3 in everyone else's panels and just said, hey, guess who's still around making games?
Yeah.
Not Konami.
And they had a fantastic Mega Man on top of that.
Yeah, and they had a cool Mega Man area, and
that booth was amazing.
yeah.
Oh, I hear.
Devil May Cry and Resident Evil 2's.
So excited for
It's like
Devil May Cry.
Cry. Me too. I'm ready.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Right,
There, if they came out and just said, "Hey, we're making then I would figure out what it's coming out on, buy that system, buy the game.
Yeah, same here. I've mentioned this story a couple times before, but one of our members, Dash, those of you who watched our Five Island dub, Dash is the voice of Mega Man in that project. But Dash was telling me at one point that they have a like $500 set aside in a undisclosed location for Mega Man Legends 3 and the console it's going to be coming out on in the future. It's like that's set aside in an undisclosed location specifically for that purpose, not getting touched until Legends 3 comes out.
I have something kind of similar going on, honestly.
Set aside.
I'm going to say it's an undisclosed amount.
We're saving millions over here.
Since it's any, I gotta get the shining laser.
Exactly.
But, you didn't even hop into the hole.
I know, because I didn't want to fall in and die. Because that would have been really stinky. I don't know how to go and do it again.
Fine, if you want to play this game safe and all.
It's very hard mode, so yes, I do.
But,
And then 11 will make them consider it. Yeah, we'll see.
But,
if Mega Man 11 really did happen because of the Legacy collections, then, I mean, I would assume that they're going to be X9 within the next year or two, or, you know, maybe later on, but I see it happening most feasibly within the next year or two if the X collections sell well. And after that,
yeah.
You know, if they put out a Legends collection, and that sells well, which, you know, we cannot call ourselves Legends fans if we don't get that to sell well. Then, yeah, then, you know, maybe Legends 3 sometime. No, though, like, even just the Legends collection, I feel like... I don't want to say it's a stretch, but... It just seems like it would be a difficult thing to make happen within the same... Like, in the same way as these other two collections we're getting. Capcom is going to be... They're going to feel the obligation to milk this series, you know, put out two collections somehow. But how can they do that with only 3 games? I've seen a lot of folks hoping that they'll somehow find a way to put the Five Island Adventure game on there as a bonus. And
that would be one heck of a bonus.
Really feeling gutsy. And this is what... We're talking not just normal level of gutsy, we're talking about hangover level gutsy. Putting out the Legends 3 prototype.
We're talking full-on guts, man.
So, I mean, Five Island Adventure is one thing, prototype is a whole other thing, I think.
Yeah. A demo disc that comes with a physical. It's going to come out on a demo low code included with a physical copy of the Five Islands Adventure. That's how it's going to go down, just the same way Misadventures of Tron Bonds did it. or Misadventures of Trombone did it.
Yeah, I mean,
3 demo is going to come out with a physical copy as a download code with 5 Islands Adventure. Quote me on this. 100%. No, it's not going to happen.
Quote you
I
either
mean,
way.
hey, we can dream, and in fact, dreams are the foundations of this fan base. So,
Because sweet dreams are made of these.
you know, sweet dreams are made of Mega Man Legends. These collections would include 1 and 2 Tron's game, and maybe the mobile one. And I would love to hear a blooper reel from the voice actors. Man, I wonder if Capcom even still has those files.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, though.
No clue.
No up to their problems, of course. See, that's the that remains the biggest issue in my mind. You know, just I really don't know how gutsy. I mean, making Mega Man 11 is one thing. Making Mega Man X9 is another thing. Even making a Legends collection is. But to make Legends 3 would be... In order to make Legends 3, they would have to owe up to the fact that they made a mistake before. They cannot erase the memory that they did cancel this game at one point. So making Legends 3 they'd have to...
Right.
They have to come up and own to their faults. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Faults, I mean.
They could just as easily spin it as they found a different direction for the project than the one that they anticipated prior, and this is the vision of Mega Man Legends that they are releasing, and that's all there would be to it. They wouldn't even necessarily need to address canceled if they don't want to, which I imagine they do not want to.
Well, they wouldn't have to mention it verbally. Verbally, they wouldn't. But I feel like just the announcement itself would have to carry an implication.
The announcement itself would carry some weight. It wouldn't necessarily mean that there was a problem. It would just mean that there was a shift in management, as such, that would make Mega Man Legends 3 lucrative to them, where they just did not think it. Yeah, all they would need to do is see it now as a lucrative project to go into. And they're making it now because there's a market for it. Totally removed from any interactions with fans. That is all they would need to do to justify it.
I wonder.
Completely separated from the fans. Might be a direction that some people on their board probably want to take. I'm not sure if the developers themselves would want to take that because they were willing to go through the dev room in the first place, but it would seem that the board of directors would probably just want the developers to do their thing out and then be done with it.
Yeah, I gotta wonder. It's hard to, man, it's just so hard to pinpoint a consistent mentality within Capcom. Like, we see all these different things they're doing at completely different points, you know, following completely different wavelengths. And it comes to a point where you're seriously left wondering, well, what do they really think? You know, how does their brain tick? You know, when you're a company that's doing all these different things, you know, you're doing good things one moment, bad things another moment, and they're all kind of mishmashed into this really inconsistent pattern. It really comes to a point where you seriously don't know what to make of them. And that's how I kind of feel about Capcom, really. You know, I legitimately don't know what to make of them sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with you, but what it comes down to is that you have to recognize that the board of directors is not one person.
You know? Right.
Nor are the developer teams, and they all have oversight from different people, it would seem. To be doing more. They seem to be rebuild faith in their they're more willing to take steps to rebuild faith in their brands lately as opposed to before.
Yeah, and of course,
yeah, minus the fighting game department.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know
and of course
what they're doing over there.
as a team though, they kind of have to think under one mindset if they're going to get anything done.
They have a bunch of different teams. Like, the Devil May Cry team is not the same team as Mega Man or Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's true too.
So, each of the teams can just have widely different oversight. And it's the way it goes. Which is a satisfying answer to give, or I'd imagine. But
yeah, right. And you bring up a really good point here. It makes complete sense that they, I guess, as inconsistent as they can be sometimes, but man, it doesn't kind of be a shock to the system for us spectators, can it?
yeah. Thanks. I wish.
Oh, I mean, I guess it is kind of nice sometimes to have all these surprises around every corner.
You gotta be polite when talking to. If you're not polite when you're talking to whoever you're trying to talk to, then they're just gonna brush you off and not care about what you have to say. Which is not a surprise.
Yeah, a good way to handle feedback, I think, in general, is to start off your commentary by complimenting the company on something you feel they've done very, very well, and then transitioning into, potentially your criticisms when you've established that you have, you have the best will toward them.
Actually decent in this game.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Hold on.
You gotta upgrade it.
Okay, you can't shoot though at the same time. I kind of figured you couldn't, but that's pretty good. Okay, we are.
It helps you get through attacks.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it does kind of look like a Sonic shield, elemental shield.
Old school Matt. Legends, I feel, is like the favorite Mega Man game by the devs, but the directors hate it because hate that it would cost. Oh, excuse me, I'm massacring this message. Legends, I feel, is the favorite Mega Man game by the devs, but the directors hate that it would be more expensive than any other type of Mega Man game. Yeah, it's.
I don't necessarily know based on cost to make it, but it is certainly more expensive if you think about the voice acting and just trying to thoughtfully design areas.
Right, yeah. At any rate, it seems more expensive than the other Mega Man series.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put in that additional dimension, you're automatically making things a lot more complicated.
Devs loves the serve bots, it seems like. The devs really like designing it, but yeah. But I don't know. They certainly really put in the time to sort of craft a narrative that you can sort of really have a joy following. So they did a good job making a really charming game. Because it's more than just one game. Really.
1 and 2, then they made X7. Did they forget how to do 3D Mega Man?
Different team. Different team, different mindset.
But
also,
still.
I can see where the design philosophies would be different, because Mega Man X7 isn't an adventure game, but man, it's awful. I completed it. I maxed out everyone's stats in that game, which requires beating the game like 3 times.
Why would you even do that?
Which I never ever want to do again.
Vancouver developing Mega Man Legends 3. Hey, maybe. I don't know.
The MT engine was supposed to be a Mega Man prototype, or a Mega Man Legends prototype engine, so Dead Rising's engine was sort of developed.
No, I don't want Capcom Vancouver to touch anything. Especially not after Dead Rising 4.
Vancouver can make fun games, but I don't think... I don't know if Dead Rising anymore.
They made the latest Dead Rising. It's terrible.
Ugh. Not a good game.
They made Dead Rising 2, pretty good. Dead Rising 3, it's okay. Dead Rising 4.
Please stop. But but yeah.
Haunted S'mores is saying I like X7. Well, you know what? We don't want to.
You don't want to.
At all. You know, if you like it, that's great. You know, video games are an entertainment medium, and therefore we should feel completely free to find whatever derive what enjoyment we can out of them.
Not with that.
You can play X7. Good for you. That is an accomplishment. He said that I've played pretty bad games, so in terms of bad games, I'm not quite sure where X7 would stack up. King of not the best games. It does have some okay music, and the dual audio is good.
Really quickly here that I think X6 is worse than X7, and I know X6 has a cult following, but that I'm just throwing that out there to show how I perceive the backlash for both games, which both games aren't exactly regarded as the best in the X series.
Here's the thing, X7 is at least a mostly functional game. X6 has broken code. I'm not sure where to stack the two up. I get that people really like the challenge. Want to have to use all of their weapons to get through. They want it to be really difficult. However, it is very jarring. It's very jarring if you with previous X titles, but X7 is.
I mean, it's true that Mega Man X just set a great precedent leading up to those titles. It just had so many rock-solid hits leading up to those, those last, X6 and X7, to the point where it almost kind of set too high a standard for the series.
But yeah, Kerplop's saying what I'm getting at. X6 is the only X game that can't be beaten with Unarmored X. Yeah, people like that you're forced to use armor and stuff, and other people do not like that.
What I'm talking about when I say that, when I was talking about deriving whatever enjoyment we can from games, I think it's very important to consider that different perspectives can interpret a different issue in a game as either problematic or enjoyable. Like this extremely difficult boss, from one person's perspective, could be really cheap, and from another person's perspective, could be just a really nice challenge that gives adds to the of a difficult experience. So
that said, Blaze Heatnix's stage is still awful no matter how you slice it.
Well, I think even that. I mean, I didn't like.
If you like a challenge or not,
but...
and you can say, yeah, just use a charged metal anchor. The problem there is that that line of thinking requires you to have not played in the sequence that you want to.
Yeah, right.
You want to go through Metal Shark Player stage before Blaze Heatnix. Then again, I would probably put off Blaze Heatnix's stage for as long as possible because that stage is awful.
You don't like donuts, huh?
I'm not a fan of Dunkin' Donuts specifically.
Dunkin'.
Donuts dunked in purple magma.
I Purple Magma's not that bad. It's acquired taste.
Purple Magma's delicious.
Can't
Someone
get
could
enough.
Photoshop a Dunkin' Donuts ad to just have like a mug full of that purple lava, and it would just be replaced by the Ouroboros enemy, and that would be a 10 out of 10. There, if someone makes that, props to you.
Just watch that company go out of business the day after.
Yahoo!
Yahoo!
Oh, Shark Player is such a great name and a good design.
Oh man. What a...
Speculation, and I don't know how valid this speculation is, nor how much it remedies the problem, but for what it's worth, I remember hearing that another way you could interpret the name is Metal Shark Prayer, because he resurrects, I think, what was the theory? Like, he resurrects other Reaverbot, or other Mavericks with some strange incantation that could essentially be regarded as a prayer. That really doesn't make it any better. It might even make it worse. I don't know.
Oh, that's something. But I don't know. Also, why was his charged attack just a bunch of Storm Eagles? I never got that.
Necro Shark. See, Necro Shark would have been a great name for him.
Necro Shark would have been cool. But yeah, like, his charged weapon attack is just a whole bunch of Storm Eagles. Gray-shifted Storm Eagles. So I'm like, what the heck? This is like the laziest charge attack I've seen. What happened to, it's from, like, Mega Man X3 on the SNES, which this game is not.
Yeah. Zapdos here is...
He's the Necro Shark, but, I mean, it could have been something better. Also, it's not really implied at all over the course of the game, or not conveyed very well, that he is sort of a necromancing shark.
Yeah.
Like, Guard, sure, but so was the Morph Moth. Hey, Tuga.
Oh, Tuga. Yes, we are still on, playing the illustrious Mega Man Legends 2. Yeah, how have you been? Also, Zapdos just beat this game recently, saying good stuff. Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Hey, if I might ask, which console did you beat this game on? Was it PSN or?
Somehow you got the original disc.
And I gotta say, the original discs for Mega Man Legends are probably 3 of my most valuable games. For Legends Tron and Legends 2, after the fact.
Right. Hey, Zapdos, you know, one thing you could do... I've heard a lot of people mentioning this problem. One thing you can do, the Vita has a very handy feature that allows you to remap the buttons to any other button on the system. Is remap the touchpad on the back of the system to one of the shoulder buttons, if you want. I haven't tried that myself, but I've heard that some folks have been able to do that with success. So, there's an option for you. And, like, you can't do that with, that option is on the PS3 or the PSP, but it is on the Vita. Handy. Very handy indeed.
Yeah, Cephalix is right there. It's sort of flavor texted in that Metal Shark Player can necromance robots, but it's not like he raises junk robots during the fight, unlike the Vulture guy in ZX or ZXA.
Yeah,
he was a pretty cool boss.
All I know is that he made a Megadeth reference.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. They got that hops
No,
around. That's probably for Shining Laser.
Of all the buttons, Zapdos, well, that is a problem. Yeah, the Vita lacks the, you know, the appropriate amount of shoulder buttons, unfortunately. Old School Mac, you were saying, one thing I did prefer in Legends 1 was how all the ruins connected. I get that all these are on different islands, but I feel there should be a singular point on Terra where they all connect. Common complaint brought up by those who prefer Legends 1 to Legends 2. I would add to that it does, you know, traveling to all these islands, it kind of breaks the immersion. Like that one single segmented experience that the Legends game pulled off so well. I don't know, it's just something about that one interconnected environment that just makes the experience feel so real, so in tune, I guess, with you know, what we see in our lives. And, you know, like, we see things and they all kind of connect to each other in some way or another. Experiences. So yeah, that's why I think
I honestly think
this was so great for immersion. Sorry, go on.
That if they sort of went, if Legends 3 happened, a good direction for it would kind of be the way that Okami did it, where you would have multiple story arcs in the same game. Each little story arc would revolve around a different area or island, and it would have a bunch of mini ruins that you would have to deal with that would all be interconnected, possibly. Or maybe some would, some wouldn't, to add to the variety of the different sort of environments you'd the course of the game.
Yeah, I feel like Legends 3, the prototype specifically, I feel like it was going for a more Legends 1 feel, with the whole adventure taking place on that one, you know, Clickalin Island, that one place.
That's true.
Not traveling to anywhere else.
Possibly, I haven't really played through Skyrim, so.
World also felt more shallow. Yeah, I'm going back here further. My biggest problem was the hardest digger test and the final boss. I just bought tons of health for the final boss since I was so bad at it. The interconnectedness made it better. This world also felt much more shallow. Yeah, this game does a lot of things right. You know, it has excellent controls, excellent, you know, visuals, excellent voice acting, excellent story. It just does so many things right on so many different levels. I feel like that is one aspect that I did enjoy the first game for more.
You're saying
in
that
in general, I want to say I like Legends 2 more than Legends 1, but I will admit that the interconnectedness of Legends 1 did kind of lend the environment more, you know, it lended itself more to a more immersive vibe, I suppose. Mega Man's voice actor in this game, that's the one exception I'll make to that rule. Sorry, go on, David.
But Tuga basically is talking about an underground area that spans almost the entire map. So yeah, I guess kind of like the Underdark in Forgotten Realms, if that's the case. Something like that. If it went with a more sort of... If it went for kind of the direction I was thinking, but I don't know.
Really?
Got burned.
How did that even hit?
Oh man. Yeah, you're on fire.
It's fine. Oh, okay. Carries through there too. It's cool.
Oh, we're playing NBA Jam. One of those spiky dudes and Chaos dunk him.
Just need to find a crate somewhere. Would have worked, but...
Jump roll.
Oh, that's cool.
I mentioned this on the last stream, but I discovered that exploit you can employ to slow down the burn damage by, you know, that exploit being if you constantly roll, you can slow down the...
Because you have iframes?
Yeah, the iframes. But I discovered that by myself purely because of the stop, drop, and roll thing. I was thinking, okay, wait, this works in real life, maybe it'll work in the game. And I don't think the developers intended for that to work in the way it did. And so, hey.
Wow.
Those doll guys are annoying.
That's why I didn't want to hit them.
Speed ports have subtitles. Thanks for giving us those in English, Capcom.
Yeah, Capcom. Big dummies.
Yeah. PSP ports are also kind of all right.
I think they're great. What was the what problems did you have with them?
Actually, I haven't had a chance to crack open my copies, but I've heard that there are some problems playing them at times, or some people had problems, but I'm not sure.
If you played at a certain time,
I heard. Oh no, I heard that there were crashing problems and safe corruption problems.
Man, safe corruption problems?
Heard, but I can't verify that because I think it was on. I heard that it was on early print runs.
Oh, that's news to me.
But I'm not certain.
Oh my god.
Just get the.
Should be in here.
Oh, just use the asbestos shoes.
There we go. Okay, I didn't realize I was missing this much treasures. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom.
That's money.
Nuts.
Yeah, Mega Man does need to go on too.
Traps are annoying. Oh, any more treasures in this dungeon that you're going for?
No, it's just that. I needed that for a weapon part.
The rebound. It's like the rebound arm?
It's called the Crusher.
Sure.
Yeah, right here.
Generator.
Don't you need that?
But then I gotta also be a
Mega Man to get
guy.
Yeah, you have to become a bad guy.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, we got that
to
part.
the farm.
But don't we have to be a good guy for something else, or no?
Do have to be a good guy for something else.
I don't know about that. I know that you do for the digger, all the 100 question quiz. You need it for that.
Right,
No, necessarily. You can be just neutral Mega Man for that.
You could do that.
We don't know if you need the light Mega Man for anything.
Light Mega Man, you need to access, or no, it just helps you get discounts on, powering up weapons. Dark Mega Man to get to the black market, located right where you hop down at.
Too much of a goody two-shoes.
You know how it works in real life. When you're a good guy, it never gives you... fits you. Take that at face value, folks. Value. You could roll in the shower, then she gives you a price cut. Girls are weird. For all the heart items and have a high enough roll karma.
Yeah,
that's right.
Reversing going dark is easy. It's probably easier than going dark. Dark is, the way you do that is you donate like 1,000,000 zenny to the church, and suddenly, bam, you have the, like, most karma points you can have.
Well, we'll go dark last.
Sounds impossible, but it's faster than you think.
Is this the one I'm thinking of?
Maxing the shining laser. Maxing the shining laser. Way longer than
We're not maxing out all the weapons. We're just getting them all. That was the deal.
So Dark decides coughing up 1 million Z's to the church. I think by doing story content, you know, progressing through the story, you can...
right. There are a few side quests that minorly affect the color of Mega Man's armor.
Right.
The more side quests you do to help people out, you get a little bit of karma points, but it's nothing that's largely going to impact your run unless you know about donating to the church.
Oh, okay. Blue Metal's kind of blowing my mind here. I forget he's saying here, I forget if in mini games restore karma. It does in Mega Man Legends 1. I knew that. I thought when you became Dark in Mega Man Legends 1, there was no way to reverse that unless there was story content left to complete. Because, you know, going through the story, that brightens you up, usually. But I didn't know there was a controlled way of, like, getting your armor light again. That's really neat to know that the minigames do that. I actually remember going through some forums a long time ago where that question was kind of circulating, you know, folks asking whether you could reverse the Dark in Mega Man Legends 1 if you, like, were just, like, right at the Juno gate. And the common consensus was that no, you cannot reverse it. But, wow, that's why I'm so surprised here by this revelation that the minigames restore that. That's...
There she is.
Yeah, that's neat. Dark and grinding races slowly becoming light. Sell yourself for the amusement of the masses. For karma, yeah.
You want all of those roll items so that way you get the discount.
Yeah.
They get the discount even if she has, even if you give her all of the items. And yeah, kicking the can into the bakery will turn you dark.
Yeah.
It's just illegal.
Yeah, it
I think
is
actually
genuinely...
kicking the can in a trash can makes you brighter too.
I don't think you can kick the can into the trash can in Legends 1.
You can.
Can't.
Half the money you do for kicking it into the bakery, but you can actually land it in there in 1 or 2 kicks if you aim just right.
About that?
Oh yeah. Before, like, early in the game, before I knew that you didn't have to grind money immediately, like in my very first run, that's how I chose to get money, because I didn't fight Reaver bots.
Okay, you know, I'm gonna have to try that out for myself because...
I actually didn't know about kicking it into the bakery until a while later. So it was completely the opposite for me.
Huh. Try that out then.
50s any per can.
I'm curious. Yeah, speaking of kicking the can, does doing that in ML2 affect karma?
It makes sense if it does, but I don't know.
Who knows?
You grinding cat, or are you going to grind cash?
Oh yeah. I kind of don't want to progress the story too much more in this stream. I kind of just want to get some stuff done. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
A little bit of cleanup.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have quite a story. We have quite a story curve coming up, so it's best to get a lot of work done now.
Yeah, I feel like that would be better for the next time, so I'm just trying to get some little stuff out of the way. So.
Right. Yeah, that's... Man, we have so much story stuff coming up, that's gonna take forever.
Yeah.
A story dump.
Or a story dump.
Exposition...
The big man himself.
Need of the Mega Man Legends staff to throw in a reference to Big Bird, huh?
Last success mystery. No, I finally got the vacuum armor. Should have used it. Oh, well.
Use that.
Yeah, I'll go put it back on. Let's actually get some upgrades for it. Let's see, how much money do I got?
It's not going to be that good if you don't have the cash to...
Yeah.
Good if you have to keep running away to recharge it.
Yeah. Oops.
You may as well have it at full energy and the like.
Yeah.
Just saying here. Also, apparently you can shoot the KTOX airship during the bomb attack. Yeah, I knew that.
I knew that too.
And that in particular, that really turns your armor dark quickly.
Oh yeah. It's because the media controls the world, makes you look like a bad guy. Big facts.
Okay, like, you don't turn bad from shooting the blimp down. You turn bad because everyone's reflecting their anger onto you through the perception of the media.
Exactly. Yeah, Insta-Dark.
That isn't an Insta-Dark.
Insta-Bad guy.
There's any reason for Dark Karma in Legends 1? Is there? Not really anything regarding completion, but it's really funny to just, like, go around Cadillacs Island and, you know, listen in on the houses and hear what rotten talk people are saying about you.
Yeah. Also looks kind of cool.
Super effective against psychic Reaver bots. Yep.
Big truth.
They're offering a Dark Mega Man Volnut 4-inch Nell figure for as to the winner of the writing contest that we're hosting, and which will be concluding in a few days from now. That contest is, by the way, the Cliffhanger Resolution Contest.
Oh man.
Which we started a few months ago, and it's a contest. It's you know, just to give a brief summary, it's a contest aimed at resolving, you know, as the name implies, resolving the cliffhanger ending in Legends 2. So, you know, folks are essentially, we're essentially asking folks to write fanfics, based on how they think the cliffhanger in Legends 2 would be resolved, in their minds. Your fanfic, and, you know, it could be via text, it could be a comic, it could be, like, audio drama, it could be anything, you know? It's mainly a story writing contest, and I know I'm using the word fanfic, but I mean that more in terms of a story by fans, you know? It could be a story submitted in any format. The only thing
fan narrative.
Yeah, that's a good phrase, yeah. It's essentially just a fan narrative contest where, you know, folks can write in and their idea on how the ending would be resolved. So yeah, and again, we are offering some prizes for that. One of which is the Mega Man Volnut figure I mentioned. There are also a bead sprite and poster as well of the Legends 20th anniversary art we put together in December. So yeah, some cool stuff to be won, and yeah, the contest will be concluding in in 4 days from now. So yeah, if folks are interested, check that out. Want to sound more artistic? Call it X-phrasis. That's a piece of art based on another piece of art.
That's a word, alright.
And
On Rock Talk, that jerk broke my soda machine again.
how rude.
Working on an entry, and so is, yeah, I recall Real Mega Zero was working on one as well. Props to you folks. Good to see you contributing. Man, I gotta tell you folks, I really derive the greatest delight from reading stuff like that.
It's pretty nice to see
Seriously.
stuff like that. Seriously?
And still not enough. I was intending on participating, but I really didn't like to do it. Felt like I was forcing myself to write for the sake of the contest. Okay, well, you know, if that's the case, then, hey, no pressure at all. We want people to contribute to these contests, you know, out of their own, you know, creativity. We don't want to force anyone to overthink this stuff, and in the end, it should be fun. That's why we do these contests, that's why we keep hosting them. And that's why I think we'll continue to host them. You know, they're, it's just we just want to do something fun for the community.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why absolutely don't force yourself to think up something if you can't think of anything. You know, that said, we appreciate the your intent.
Your willingness.
Yeah, willingness, I guess, to try to think up something. We appreciate the thought, that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Think about rock and roll school days, and my mind was already set on that. I mean,
man.
hey, seems like you got your priorities straight.
Hardest part about grinding money in this game is getting the dungeon to work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying I've retired from writing fanfiction myself, but I couldn't resist entering this contest. Well, we're very flattered to know that we were the ones who brought you out of retirement, and we hope we serve as a springboard for other projects you might want to tackle later on.
Other writing endeavors.
Yeah, other writing endeavors, exactly. But thank you, awesome to hear that you'll be putting your oar in the water for that, Kerplomp. I'll be looking forward to reading that story of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, come on.
All you're looking for is a mimic in the hallway.
Yeah. But I can hear the frogs as soon as I get in there. Okay, I think we got it. Yep, cool.
There he is.
Frame perfect trick.
Frame perfect, first try, easy peas.
First try every time.
Yep. First try. Out of the way.
Bot to do this grinding for you. Access Elysium earlier, because the laziest method, I think, laziest and most productive method of grinding for Zenny is, with those flaming Hirokos found in Elysium, the ones dropped by that.
Oh yeah, they drop
machine.
Tons of cash.
If you stand under them with the flame armor equipped, you'll do damage to them just by contact, and they won't do any damage to you. So what you can do, you can literally just stand there with the armor on, let those guys walk into you, and just, tape down the vacuum arm button.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the easiest kind of Zenny you can get together. And yeah, of course, you can just make a sandwich in the meantime.
As many sandwiches as you want. Because anywhere in that.
I'm wondering about that as well. Whether there will be any comics, animations, or anything else aside from like there have been a couple things submitted to us so far which I've glanced at. I don't really want to look at them too in depth until the contest ends. So that's why I of what's been sent to us right now. But I think most of it has been passed. So I'm interested to really delve into those entries full throttle and see if there are any, like text entries like animations or comics. This contest, I feel, it just has a great realizing a lot of creativity, a lot of creative projects.
I agree.
I feel like this is slightly faster.
A little bit, because you don't have to run around collecting. Switch to and from the vacuum arm every time.
Yeah, I wish there was a button for that.
Time weapon switching, a new innovation for Mega Man Legends.
Yeah.
And Legends special weapon switcher mod. Take a page from Devil May Cry. Stylish Mega Man Legends combat. With man surfing on those eyes as he all over the place. That was almost dicey.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna tackle me. I'm like, please don't.
Never do that.
Soft locks on the menu.
I have never had the game soft lock on the menu.
I have many times during my grinding times.
What? It just doesn't unpause?
Yeah, this game has this weird bug where when you open the menu and try to close it, the menu won't disappear. It'll just soft lock the game. It'll just pause, freeze, leaving you to have to reset it. There is one trick, though, I found, and Kerplop, I guess you can try this later on if it ever happens to you again. If you open your CD slot, then, I don't know, and, if you open your CD slot, take the CD out, maybe wipe off some of the dust from it or something, I don't know, and then put it back in, you could, like, I don't know, it's like, the game will start working again. There were a lot of times I had to reset it, but then I found out I found out I could just take out the CD, put it back in, and somehow that would bring the game out of the frozen state. So, I don't know. It was weird. Oh yeah, PS3's another story.
Yeah.
Lock up in PS3 as well?
Well, because it's still the disc.
It's an original.
PS3 can play PS4.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's not how I play the game, so... I play my copy of Legends 2 on my PS2 almost exclusively, so... I don't think my PS3 can play PS1 discs.
Yeah, the lifter does a lot of damage to this guy. Here, I'll beat him right now without it, and I think you'll see how much it does.
It takes a while to beat him. I think you knock him down twice, and then he explodes shortly after. Hard, so he has like double health.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a 66 gig. Mine's is the
Yeah. See how long that took?
other models. Yeah, that was a long time.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, just going with the lifter. Unbelievable damage to tons of stuff in this game. It's crazy.
Well, actually, I think it only does damage to... And with other enemies, it's just... You're picking them up. And if you throw them at other enemies, then it does damage.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you hit other enemies with that, it seriously messes them up. But,
Yeah. But Mirok's a special case here. He takes damage just by your having thrown him.
Yeah, he's weird.
You know?
He's a special Reaver bot.
Yeah, like it lands like just fine, and then all of a sudden it's like dead. It is pretty weird. It doesn't read very well, but it just works, so it's okay.
He lands just fine, but in reality, no.
Yeah.
He does not take falling too well.
He landed on his horns, yeah.
At least you don't have to run all the way over to the other side of the room to grab the refractor shards. That's where the time save really comes in with the vacuum arm.
So just sit right near the door.
And also you don't have to wait for them to land.
I feel like just because of this guy, that's why they made this game so expensive. They're like, well, they have this guy they can rely on, so it's okay.
Hack of this game, or an ISO hack of this game. To the cost of everything by maybe like a digit.
I'd say like 30% at least. Make it bearable.
Yeah.
It's like, it's ridiculous. I mean, like, I had 1,000,000 Zenny, and I couldn't even level up the vacuum arm all the way. Like, what's up with that? Like, come on.
Nuts. What I kind of wish happened in this and Legends 1, buying the armor would actually change the model, or Mega Man's model.
That would have been cool.
That the shoes change model based on what shoe you were wearing does.
Yeah, a little bit.
And the helmet does too, obviously, because you put on the helmet.
That could be a surprisingly controversial issue, actually. Like, I don't know, I've seen a lot of complaints when something like that happens. I mean, it's cool to have like that customization factor, but sometimes the armor you get will just look weird, but you still have to keep it equipped because it's great, and it's just, but it's like an eyesore. So.
Yeah, but I mean, this is also a linear progression sort of game, so they can make it look how they want to, and just make sure that it's designed well. Kind of like how multiple armors, well, the multiple power suits, equipped piecemeal. Like, I kind of wanted it to be kind of X's style of armor upgrades, except, you know, I guess a bit more resembling armor throughout the game as it is, but just a little bit maybe like bulkier, maybe a little bit bulkier if you get, or maybe it has a different sort of coloring detail around like where the color of the armor is or something, but nothing. Don't try to pick up roll.
Why not? She likes it.
Loads of fun.
One more time, I think. We'll have a whopping 3 million.
Finally, you can go to the buy a loaf of bread.
Yep. Okay, one more.
Situation's so bad, that's why Appo and Da live in poverty.
Well, there's a take I haven't heard yet. There are about 1 million different theories as to why Appo and Da live in the state they do, but...
Price inflation.
Dang, that's dark.
Oh. That's the world they live in.
Sorry, Zapdos. I didn't know about this area either the first time. But when you're playing on like normal, you can get through this game with your Buster. So on very hard mode, you kind of can't.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, I feel like my Buster hasn't been reliable until like the last stream. Like.
Right, and that was when you got the adapter, right?
Yeah. Like, once you're able to get the third thing, you can actually, like, do something to enemies, but before that, you're, like, so reliant on your special weapons. But you have to grind for them, and I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a stupid system.
Just bringing up a good point here. Bread can be expensive in this ocean-based world. Not much room to grow crops.
Not much room to grow crops.
Remember how well-guarded Sart Farm was in MOTB?
Yep, they had grenade launchers and rocket launchers and stuff.
This lore.
Deepest lore.
You're gonna tell me
this.
They can't grow bread around here? All this green.
On climate.
Doing some here. They could grow bread.
They can, it just won't be in the supply that that is preferable.
There's only like 40 people in this game. They'll be fine.
Only 40 people in the entirety of the Legends world.
Some are farmers. None of them are farmers. The only farmers are in Misadventures of Trombone.
Well,
come on.
Come over. Tell them we got jobs.
That game's worth 40 people.
Tell them we'll pay their rent.
Feeding 40 people.
Kervop's saying, when Roll said she even managed to find some pepperoni for making pizza, that could have been the food find of the year.
And
you guys just being ridiculous.
just because that's all that they have on hand.
Where is the gift lady? She's here somewhere. I can never remember the door.
Is it the balloon door?
Maybe. Let's see. Yep.
Good at this game.
Jeez, and there goes all that grinding. Man.
Dang.
It's a hard knock life for sure.
You get to go back to your room and check out the wallpaper and the picture that you got. And then you can hand roll all that stuff and she can finally give you discounts on your weapon upgrades. And before you grinded for all this. Well, you had to grind to get it, so I don't know.
We've had I think every stream has at least one grind session in it. That's just how much everything costs. It's ridiculous.
You should just title this stream Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Hey, whoa. What the heck?
Oh boy, here it comes.
Oh. Rot-row.
Hey, hey, hey!
Yeah, you gotta talk to Data first.
Yeah, you can't trigger this unless you talk to Data.
I don't want to talk to Data, he smells.
He's a dang monkey.
He smells like a monkey. I don't talk to those kinds of people. Stinky little monkey boy.
Just dances all day.
Roll's taking a bath, man. Like, you should get clean out too.
what you're suggesting, Data. Don't you play innocent.
We all know. It's ulterior motives.
Mastermind behind all of this.
Yeah, on that level I was just in, yeah, that red light bugs me too. There we go.
Hmm.
This wasn't it.
Yeah, I remember that Kerplop. You get to see her in her PJs if you've been doing enough bad deeds. She'll like come up. You'll find her, I think, laying on her couch in this big all in this big depression over.
Really?
Yeah, over your actions. Like, she's so depressed that she can't even get up. Look up a game. Look up the a game script for Mega Man Legends 2. You'll find
fist
that.
Pumps in this one. Like a little fanfare plays too.
Bad thing to see.
Now you get a discount for all your items.
Wow, that model's really cool.
Because she bought a new toolkit.
Oh.
Well, let's see. This was something.
Energy.
So.
Out.
Well, now I can barely afford this one. She didn't really take off that much. What, 10% maybe?
Yeah, 10%.
That's roll for you. Biggest villain of all time. Like, people say Tom Nook from Animal Crossing is a money-grubbing guy. Nah, not even close. Roll is literally the worst. She just comes in, you get her all this stuff. Literally, one thing cost me 1,000,000 zenny. She's like, wow, I'll take 10%. Like, come on.
Good job.
Come on, man.
Oh yeah, there should be a new journal entry now.
Is this my
wallpaper? Yeah, and the picture on the wall.
This is one of my favorite paintings. Although it's hard to say why I like it. That's a mystery. That was gonna be
that's
the
a piece
main
of the lore.
That's gonna be the main plot of Legends 3, why he likes this painting so much.
I like how he has a laptop in his room, but he doesn't do computers that good.
He's getting better. Like, once he got off Elysium, he had to like run to his room and see if his painting was still there. Make sure Roland didn't try to sell it. Oh yeah.
Trying to be a part of the cost for the rocket. Also, you have a new diary entry to look at.
We'll check it out in a second. Hold on. I just wanna move to the farming area place thing. Over here. Yep. Okay. Now we can check out the diary. There's the ship.
You can hang on it too if you want.
Got a whole lot. You can hang on the ship?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. Uh-oh. So Mega Man walking into her at least one time is canon.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way you can avoid that cutscene in the first game.
Yeah. Yeah, ended last year, yeah. Alright. We're gonna get back to the grinding spot and we'll go ahead and end it there. Do we have any news or any other news that
not
is
much.
news?
Let's see, what was it, yesterday?
Hey.
Yeah, a couple days ago we closed submissions for our Diggers Guild fan book, and for the uninitiated, that was essentially a project aimed at the developers of Mega Man 11. So, the Mega Man 11 dev team, or at least some of them anyway, Tsuchiya, for example, he's going to be there. They are going to be attending San Diego Comic-Con in a few days' time. This book is essentially something that we wanted to do to welcome them, give them a warm welcome to the Mega Man community. So, we closed submissions for that a couple days ago, and we got quite a good amount, I must say. And right now, we're in the process of putting that, compiling all those letters and artwork we received, who wanted to contribute to that book, into the actual book that we'll be presenting to the Mega Man 11 dev team at San Diego Comic-Con. Now, and we are looking forward to giving that to them at the event. So, yes, to look forward to more news on that, folks. We hope to get some pictures of the actual meeting with the dev team, give you folks kind of like a return on your investment for the work you put into those letters and artwork. Coming up soonest, I guess, but in a few more days, we're also going to be wrapping up our Resolve the Cliffhanger writing contest, which I was touching upon earlier. That's going to be wrapping up on the 18th, which will mark the 7th anniversary of Legends 3's cancellation. So, yeah, about 4 more days to contribute to that, and I already mentioned earlier about the prizes and such associated with that event. So if you consider yourself a good writer, or
if you just want to,
maybe you're good at comics or audio drama, anything, any kind of writing talents within those mediums, then consider participating in our event.
Yeah, go for it.
I can't think of anything else at the moment. Oh yeah, Nintendo Force. Guys, we got a feature in Nintendo Force magazine recently. I did not want to post that feature on the page because I didn't want to take any business away from the great folks at Nintendo Force. Really are great folks. They featured us. I think this is the 4th time now that they featured us in their magazine.
And
founding. So they are just fantastic folks. They really know their profession. They really know Mega Man, I can tell you that. And that last issue of Nintendo Force was just a great issue for Mega Man content. There's like a feature with Proto Dude. There's a feature with and there's all this cool Mega Man. It's
pretty sure Mega Man's on the cover as well.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, it's like primarily focused on Mega Man, so it's great stuff. So even if you aren't, I would imagine we cater mainly to Legends fans here. But even if you're not the biggest Legends fan, you can go to that magazine for some fantastic Mega Man content, and I think it'll completely satisfy you. Check that out.
Yeah, Twitch chat.
Yeah, with that link
Thank
right
you
there,
very
you
much.
can. I think you can buy it digitally for like $2.99, right? So.
Yeah, I think.
It's pretty
Let me
cheap
double check the
digital.
price.
If you wanted it physical, it's a bit more, because shipping and printing. But if you just wanted to read the article, give them a little support, $2.99, not too much to ask for. I think so.
Yeah, it's very reasonable. I mentioned this earlier, so in a bit more disappointing news, we are taking a bit of a season break for our Mega Man Legends 5 Island dub right now. Yesterday we put out the 7th episode, the final episode in the Pollen Island arc, which is the second story arc in that game. And that was we released those over a span of 6 weeks actually. We kind of have to we're gonna need a bit more time to like edit the second arc. So yeah, we're going to be taking a few weeks off from that project, so there won't be any new episodes released for a few more weeks, and we need some time to catch up on the editing for that project. And I want to make it abundantly clear right now: this wait is not going to be anywhere remotely close to the wait from the first and second islands. You know, it's not going to be 5 years.
Yeah.
5-year wait. You know, we have all the assets together. It's all just a matter of bringing them all together and...
matter of editing.
Well, we have to get a hold of some of the... man, I don't know what it is about voice actors, but they are really slow in working. You know, I mean, shout-outs to the great work they do. I guess it does take a long time to get it right. But man, it can set your schedule back sometimes.
Yeah, but you gotta write, and then you have to edit it, and you have to...
It's a lot of work, but, you know, I think it will be worth it, so... you know, thanks for your understanding, I guess, is what I want to say. Let's see. But I guess... Hey, Kerplop saying here, you guys are so spirited, I admire it so much. Wish other fan groups I was part of would be so active. Thanks so much, you know, we really do appreciate it. And, you know, we do this stuff mainly for fun, you know, just because we're fans who take delight in watching other fans do such neat stuff. But, man, I think that mainly speaks for the spirit with which we go into these kinds of projects. But, I mean, hey, I want to make it clear right now, we're only able to do what we can because we can rely on the support from so many other creative individuals. Like, I mean, organization is a skill, granted, but it's a skill that only exists because of other skills. You know? You can't really organize anything unless there are talents, other talents, to organize. And that's where, of course, our fan base comes in and provides us with these great, you know, letters and artwork and all these great entries and stuff for contests.
The best part about the whole thing is that it's all you guys doing so much stuff and just being great fans of the franchise. That's the best part, is we all get to see how everyone else makes all this stuff, and it's just really cool.
Absolutely, and specifically for someone like me who I really don't have a whole lot of talents to boast of, honestly. Like, I can't draw. I guess I'm a semi-competent writer, but like, man, like, I can't animate, I can't draw, I can't do anything remotely near what other creative fans can do. So I just marvel at watching these other creative fans do stuff that I can't do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think that pretty much wraps up all the news we have right now.
I got a little bit. Like I said earlier, Mega Man Legacy Collection X1 and 2, because, you know, gotta have two of them, gotta come out on the same day. Coming out next Tuesday, the 24th. You can get $20 for each of them, $40 altogether. You can get it physical. I got them all ready to go on the Switch. And another game that came out that's pretty heavily inspired by Mega Man X is 20XX, which has been around for a while on PC, but very recently it came out on the Switch. I got it on there, plays great, plays just like on PC, so it's pretty good. The only thing it doesn't have is the other character, because they did eventually add a new character. I don't know where that character is. I don't know if you have to unlock it or something. I only did like one run just to see how good it was and all that, just to make sure it ran good on the Switch, basically, which I'm pretty sure it would have, but you never know sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes ports can be a bit sketchy.
Right, so that was, it's, the 20XX is $17.99 on Switch. I think console-wise it's only available on Switch, so I don't know if it's on PS4 or Xbox One, but either way, that's a pretty fun game. It's got co-op as well. If you like, even if you don't like roguelites, you might like that game, because I don't really like roguelites, but I like Mega Man, so that game works out for me. it's pretty fun. I'd highly recommend it. I already have all that. Like the front page on my Switch is like Mega Man, like both X collections, 20XX, and Legacy Collection 2. Like, it's got like 1 million Mega Man games on it, which is cool. Like, it's crazy. Like in 1 year, like the Switch went from 0 Mega Man games to like what, like 18, right? Because you got 10.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I would definitely recommend 20XX. You can also, like I said, you can get it on PC. You probably get it cheaper that way, but if you got a Switch and wanted to play it on there, you can't go wrong. It's a pretty great game. I like it a lot. But then I guess, yeah, I guess that's everything else I had to say. Yeah, and then
All right,
once again,
then. Well,
once again, sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you one more time. Once again, Mega Man Legends 1, 2, and Tron Honor on sale on PSN, PS3, PSP, and PS Vita. So.
Ends the 17th, which is the day before our 8th,
7th,
or 2 days before our 8th sort of anniversary.
7th.
Sorry, it gets so long that
it feels like so much longer.
much longer. But a couple days before our 7th anniversary, and it's the day before Legends 3 got canceled. So games in defiance of the cancellation.
That's one way you could say it.
If you haven't done so already.
All right, then. I think that pretty much wraps things up here. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in. Always a pleasure to chat with you about such a great game as Mega Man Legends 2. And we will see you next week with our continued playthrough of this gem of a game. So until next time, guys, keep fighting the good fight. And as always, Legends never die.
Legends never die.
Legends never die, folks.
All right, see you guys next week, and have a legendary weekend.
Yep. Bye-bye.